Welcome back, boys. Let me see some ones in the chat so I know you can hear me. Meantime, this live stream is sponsored by Arijan 3D and his, hold on a second, and his Blender Masterclass course, which doesn't want to load on me. I think it's something with my VPN fucking with me again. But if you go to the description, you'll find a Blender Masterclass course where you get a 10% discount. It's basically about all the tools and techniques which you ever see me use in my videos. If you want all that explained thoroughly, you'll find that down in the description. It's also if you just want to support the channel. And you'll find my premium product animation course as well. You guys know I don't do sponsors, because if I do sponsors, when you ask me a question, I can't give you my honest answer. Because then they're not going to want to sponsor me no more. And you guys, as you can imagine, the shit that goes on my live streams, nobody wants to sponsor me. It's telling me that my stream is not working properly, so we got some ones in the chat. Just hold on, bear with me for a second. Yeah, but all right, here we go. If anything goes wrong, guys, let me know in the chat. By the way, join the Discord, because as you know, I will get banned for sure. Today, we're modeling the beautiful Rolls-Royce Phantom. I don't like Rolls-Royce too much, guys. Oh, it's somebody from Australia is here with us. Good morning. A Rolls-Royce Phantom. I don't like Rolls-Royce. Not my type of car. It's a little bit too serious for me. You know what my type of car is? A Lambo. A Ferrari. An Audi R8. You know, imagine me in one of these. It's not gonna work. I'll be fucking shirtless driving around in Rolls. That's not gonna work. The reason we're doing Rolls today is because it's a pretty easy thing to model. Hold on. It's a pretty easy car to model. If you guys ever try to model a McLaren, you know what I'm talking about when I say the Rolls-Royce is an easy car to model. Arijan prefers tuk-tuks. No, because I'm not Indian. I'm white. So here's the game plan. So when we see this picture right here, and by the way, we need a blueprint too, but let's just talk about the picture for a second. We got this blocky surface on the side. That's where I want to start from. Probably this upper panel right here, above this cut here. And once we shape that, we're going to make a circle here. We're going to pull that out a little bit. We'll see how that's going to turn out. And then we're going to use the geometry from that outline here to extrude the shit that you see over here around the headlight. And we're going to be working on this. We're going to be working on that. So it's going to be rough, but I think we can do it. Well, of course, guys, there's probably no chance we can get anywhere near done with this whole thing today. No way, but we're going to do some work. And then if you guys enjoy the live stream, we can do another one. So listen, we need a blueprint. You go to Google, you type in Rolls-Royce Phantom blueprint. And for me, this one comes up from dimensions.com. I don't know what the fuck this picture is, okay? I can't download it because it's some kind of a vector. If I open this in a new tab, I can just zoom in to 500% and it still looks sharp, alright? On the website, there's something weird going on. I don't know what this is. But what I did with this picture is the following. I took it on my laptop monitor, because on my laptop monitor, I got a much higher resolution, and on that higher resolution, I then take a screenshot with my snipping tool thing. Hold on, let me also zoom in a little bit. You guys can't see this because I'm streaming my second monitor, but I'll show you what I'm doing in a second. By the way, guys, join my Discord. Join my Discord and read the rules, because otherwise, you won't see much of that Discord. So, I took a screenshot, and then I'll go to PaintNet, or whatever image editing program you want to use. You can use that. I just go with PaintNet. And we paste it there. You can download the vector file. It says Thomas, 3D. Open it in an Illustrator. Man, fuck all that. I'm going with PaintNet. Yeah, guys, we got a new screensaver today. So today, it's no longer 9/11. It's different. So, and then we invert the colors. And I'm just going to change it to something which is not colored like my wireframe. You know, when you select your geometry, it's orange. So I definitely don't want this shit to be orange because I won't see nothing. So I'll go with purple. Or I don't know, whatever. This green is okay as well. Maybe I'll go for red. Or like a burgundy. How about a burgundy? Nah, it's too close to orange. It doesn't really matter. Let's go for green, whatever. And we might also want to... No, that's good enough. Then we're going to save this. I got a Rolls-Royce folder right here where I also got some chimps saved. I already saved it here before, so there's that. Okay, so we got our blueprint. And then we go to Blender. How are you, Arijan? I'm good, thank you. How are you? Black gangs? No, it's not black people in the background. Don't say that, you're fucking racist. Do I look like a racist to you? Okay, front view, Shift A. Image reference. Guys, listen, right now I'm in Zagreb, Croatia. White town. My last name is White Man, okay? Google my last name. Belec. Croatian to English. It's a white man, I shit you not. Tomorrow I'm going to Hungary, to Budapest, which is a beautiful country. I won't say why, but Thomas Collin knows why. And then I'm going to Poland, which is even more beautiful a country. We're going to Warsaw the day after. Those are my 3 favorite places on earth right now. Poland, Hungary, and Croatia. If you know, you know. I won't say it though, because I got close to getting banned the other day. They told me I got banned for denying an extremely brutal event or something like that. I wonder what I said. I didn't get banned. I just got my stream taken down and they sent me a warning. Govorim, kako ne? Kako ne? A Hellcat. Dude, I heard a Hellcat is for black people, but I'm not sure. I'm not racist or nothing. But that's what they told me. But I think the Hellcat is pretty cool. We got a side view image. This is our front view though. So let's figure this out. This is front view. Maybe this should be on the... And this front view like this. And then we got a side view. But this is more like back view. No, this is perfect because we got the right side here. So we take this. We rotate it around the middle. Thomas Collin, what's your next video? What the fuck? What's Thomas Collin next video? You should do a migrant boat. That's what I was planning to use as my new desktop background for today, but I didn't want to look at that shit every day when I start my computer. Okay. Let's just set this up real quick, and I also want my... Hold on, what the fuck? I also want my side view, my top view. So we also rotate it like this. Balkanci, slušajte me, imam na Instagramu Balkanski profile. I got a Croatian Instagram account. I don't think I put it in the description though, but you type in Arijanologia. I'll drop a link, hold on. You guys, you gotta follow me on Instagram because you guys know I'm on thin fucking ice with this channel, and I think my shadow ban is removed because look how many people we got today, so we're a little bit less shadow banned. Hold on a second, guys. Let me just put my Instagram in the description. Bear with me. Here's my Croatian Instagram, okay? And I also got my main Instagram, my English Instagram in my description, so you guys can follow me there. I also got LinkedIn. So if you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, you can send me a message. You know how on LinkedIn, every time you go there, and you see your fellow, your former classmates from uni or from high school or whatever, and they're writing about it. It is with pleasure that I announce my new workplace at company such and such. And they write this paragraph about their experience and all this shit. And I'm like, man, these people, they were always not the kind of person who would write this shit. It looks like somebody's holding a gun to their head and making them write it. This was the kind of person that snorts cocaine off the fucking bathroom thing in the club at 3 o'clock in the morning. This was the guy that's talking to you about titties all day, showing you fucking gore videos in class. It's always that motherfucker ends up on LinkedIn writing about, "It is with pleasure that I announce my new workplace," and then suddenly he's got an LGBT friendly whatever banner. Okay guys, enough bullshit. We're gonna start with a plane here. Now, how many vertices we want on this plane? This is where the trial and error comes in. Alright? You want to subdivide it a couple of times. And this geometry we're going to use for shaping this thing. But the question is, how many vertices do we want? Okay? It's very hard to know this ahead. So you're going to have to try once. It's going to go to hell. Excuse me, I got hiccups. It's going to go to hell. And then you're going to have to try again probably. And then you might fuck it up again. It's going to have to go again. Hey, I will get a prison outfit. Don't you worry. I will get a prison outfit. I think that might be a little too much. But fuck it. Maybe it actually won't even be enough. So my idea is I'm going to do something like this. I got a plane. And I'll align this geometry with the outline. Guys, when you're modeling cars, you're going to want everything to flow very nicely. But don't worry about that too much yet, because you can fix that stuff later with your loop tools. So see, right now, this is the hard part. And here's a little tip when you're trying to make a little curve like this. One thing you can do to check whether this curve is proper. You don't want it to be jagged going up and down. All right. What you do is you take vertices which are one vertex apart and you fill them with F. You make a new edge and you check whether that edge is underneath the vertex between them. Okay. So for example, in this case, it's under this vertex, which means we're still going downwards. Here you can see the same thing. Here you can see the same. Okay, so we're good. Because if we see this, if one of them is slightly underneath the edge, you got a problem. So that means you fucked up somewhere. You can also check this with your shading, but when it's very small, you're not really going to be able to see it. You can see with the shading over here, then it's all right. And then later, we're going to use our loop tools. Can you speak Arabic? No. No, I don't speak Arabic. I know I look like I'm Arabic, but I'm not. I'm white. I'm white. I'm as white as they get, guys. I'm as white as they get. Bogu hvala. Ne smijem to na engleskom, zato što ćemo da reći da sam jebeni rasista. Thomas Collins says LinkedIn is trash. Why do you say it's trash nowadays as opposed to before, presumably? So look. Hold on a second. Let me just take this back here. And we get down to this line, so that's a start. Now the wheel, we're going to have a circle down here, but the problem is how many vertices? Well, let's try something like this. And then the other problem is also that what I wanted to do was have a plane. Look, we have to keep this in mind. A plane, which you subdivide, and then you take a circle from, let's say around here, or a surface from here. You inset that loop tool circle. Push that outwards. This is kind of what the wheelbase looks like, of course. This is supposed to be at the right angle. Alright. So you see how it's all going upwards, but then it merges into this circle here. That's what I'm thinking we should be doing. Should we do the wheelbase? Let's try to do the wheel. Let's see what happens. So up here we have, let's check your statistics. We have 10 edges. 10 edges, which means if we add a circle down here, we want the middle of that circle to be down here, because that's the outside of the thing. And we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we got to remove some. Let's try 24. Nije dobro. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, that's 10 edges. We can work with that. So let's try connecting them. It's not great. Of course, we're going to have to distribute this a little better. Don't you worry, guys. Now here's the thing, this is where things get pretty fucked up, because you want to have a vertex here, but if we just slide this one up, that's going to mess up the shape of our circle. So maybe we just leave it as it is for now, and then later we can do some cutting or something like that. We'll figure something out. We slide this. Let's leave it. Hold on a second. I have to push this outwards. And then, like that, we slide it. And then we have it going upwards like this. You see, we have that going for us. Except, we have to do something about this part. So let's dissolve these edges. Let's do that again. And by the way, hold on a second. Let's look at our blueprint to see what's happening from the side view. The blueprint is not perfectly aligned with the reference image that I'm using here, which is this. Look at this. I don't think my blueprint represents this properly. So my blueprint is just so I can roughly get the proportions. Guys, I'm not hired by Rolls-Royce to do this. Obviously, look at me. I'm just doing something that looks like Rolls-Royce, which is going to look nice and pretty. If Rolls-Royce was hiring me, I would probably have some better resources for this. Brate, ne mogu da vjerujem da pričaš srpski, hrvatski, kako ne, a šta bi pričao, jeboga, turski. Okay. So, this thing back here is supposed to be sort of at an angle. Like this, right? Something like this. I don't know exactly how we should be shaping this. Let's do something like this, just for now. Guys, modeling cars is one of the hardest things you can do. One of the hardest hard surface modeling skills. Or areas, or whatever. Just slide this. Hold on, let me get my screencast keys. So I'm going to Poland tomorrow, and guys, I got a special Halloween costume. And guys, I know Halloween is satanic shit. I'm a Christian. I believe in Christ. I know what Halloween is really about, but we're gonna do a very, very special costume this year, which I can't tell you about because it's gonna get me banned. But wait, let's see. But you guys are gonna love it. See, if we just slide all this inwards, then it's all good. Fuck it. When you subdivide this, all your problems tend to go away. And we're gonna get there later. See, the problem is that I want to have this geometry like this up here. Even though that gives me some artifacts, so I might have to rework this later, but fuck it. As long as we got a rough shape for now. Along this curve. Now, we're gonna need more geometry. We're gonna need more geometry. Hold on, let's try something. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this. Let's try to add some loop cuts like this to my circle, and then we're gonna turn that into a circle again, loop 2. Yo, jebenti majku. Circle, because we need a bunch of geometry up here to create this part properly. And by the way, let me see if I can get my circle lined up with the lines in my reference image. So something like this, right? We have this here. We bring that forwards. Scale it to 0. Guys, make sure you join the Blender Prison Discord server. If you want to talk to the community, if you want to ask me a question, sometimes I pop in and I can answer some questions. Sometimes I do some portfolio reviews and shit like that. So make sure you join the Blender Prison Discord, but read the rules, okay? Because you're going to get fucked if you don't read the rules. Hey guys, listen, for my Balkan people. Guys, tell me, how many Balkan people do I have here with me who understand my language? Srpsko, hrvatski, bosanski, i te fore. How many Balkan people do we have? I think his costume is about a guy with a small mustache. No, it's not, because in Poland, I would get stabbed if I wore that costume. In Croatia, I could wear that costume, because in Croatia, everybody loves Mr. Mustache. But in Poland, you know, Poland was... Their history with the mustache man is quite different than Croatian history. Croatia was allies with mustache man in those days, so in Croatia, naturally, you know, people gravitate towards this stuff. But in Poland, they don't like mustache man because Warsaw was, I think, something like 85-90% of the buildings in Warsaw were wiped off the map. They were obliterated in the Second World War. So the Polish people suffered greatly under mustache man. So I can't do that in Poland. In Hungary, sure I could. In Hungary, not in Hungary. In Croatia, sure I could. But in Poland, let me put it this way, guys. Polish people are quite racist, generally speaking. I heard that in Poland there's a lot of femboys. So if there's a femboy watching us, he's gonna say, "No, I'm Polish. I'm not racist. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about Polish people. All right, the men and the women. They're fucking racist, and I'm telling you that because I lived there for 6 months. They're fucking racist. And in Poland, you can get away with certain things, which you cannot ever get away with in the United States of America. For example, American people, they're over there, the race issue is quite a sensitive subject. You know, nobody says the N-word. You're not supposed to say that. In Poland, come on, you think they give a fuck about using the N-word on a daily basis? You think in Croatia people give a fuck? Come on, man. And you know what's the best part? We're not even racists. We don't even hate anybody. If a black guy comes in, we teach him the cuss words. We teach him all the Croatian slang. And everything's cool. It's just that people understand that, well, you know, Croatian society, Polish society is fucking white, man. You can never tell me that these people are, you know, when you go to Sweden or you go to Denmark and you meet this guy from Afghanistan and he's got the fake Louis Vuitton and he's got the fucking Gucci and he smells a mile away by perfume and he's got the whole, you know what I'm talking about, guys. And he starts a conversation with you as they usually do. You know, usually they're okay. They're pretty nice. Where are you from? Yeah, I'm Danish. You see, Danish people, when they hear this, they're like, "Oh yeah, that's really nice. They speak in Danish. Yeah, welcome." They're not even welcome. They genuinely convince themselves that this is a Danish person. And in our world, this shit doesn't work. You're not fucking. I look at you and I hear your voice and I know whether you're Croatian or not. You can't fucking tell me that a person from. You know what I'm trying to say, guys. I just don't want to say it all the way because I'm gonna get banned. In Poland, the N-word isn't really used as a derogative slur, but people just don't really get what it means. It's just not really, it doesn't have as much power here. Here meaning in Eastern Europe in general, in the former communist region. What the fuck, man? Nobody's racist here, everybody knows. You know, over here, you know what people believe in, guys? And I think to the American mind, check this out, listen, let me shut the fuck up for a second, check this out. We gotta straighten this out, look. And remind me what I wanted to say about good and bad people. We don't see, listen. I want to straighten this out, but in Hungary, we just throw that shit around. Mia fos. Asta kurva. I love Hungary, I'm going there tomorrow. I want to straighten this out. I'm going to use my Loop Tools G-Stretch. But I don't want to straighten it out like this. I just want to straighten it out so it looks nice from top view. So I only want these vertices affected on the x-axis. So I'll lock the y-axis and I'll lock the z-axis. And now when you go to top view, it turned into a pretty straight line. But from side view, it still looks the same. So let's see if that's going to give us what we want. Sometimes when you use that tool on multiple edge segments, it doesn't work properly. See, this got a little bit fucked up. I love Budapest, guys. And you know what? I know the Hungarian people don't like Viktor Orban, and I understand why. But I think he's smarter than a lot of European politicians. In fact, he's one of the smartest. Because he understands the politics in Europe better than the rest of the European elite. But that's a subject that people tend to get quite offended by for some reason. even though it's just my opinion, which, you know, doesn't necessarily mean anything. By the way, guys, yeah, what was I gonna tell you? Listen, the fucking in Eastern Europe, here's how we look at it. We don't really look at skin color. You're black, you're white, you're fucking Muslim, you're Jew, Indian. Well, the Jews maybe, but in general, people don't treat each other differently based on their skin color. Maybe if it's gypsies, people don't like gypsies too much. You guys, you don't know what I'm talking about. But in general, we operate by either you're a good person or you're a bad person. That's it. That's the most important thing. Even if you're a Jew, it's like people are going to be nice to you if you're nice to them. If you're fair to them, which is going to be unlikely in that situation, but if you're fair to them, people are going to treat you good. Learned a lot. I have about 1,900 hours in Blender. That's beautiful. Just make sure you see some sunlight, man. Trust me, you're going to lose your fucking mind. Now, I'm not sure if we have enough geometry yet, because I want to add another. We can just move this around a little bit. See, this is why this is a real pain in the ass, guys, the car modeling thing. And also, I'm not really trying to worry too much about stretching my faces out, because if I worry about that too much for now, it's gonna ruin my evening and we're not gonna get very far. You know who's the nicest people I've ever met in my life, guys? Take a guess. Who is it, guys, for you, in your opinion? Who's the nicest ethnic group, the nicest nationality that you've ever met in your life? Tell me what you guys think. Hold on a second. What do you guys think? And I'll tell you who it is in my experience. I think the Americans are not going to like my answer very much. I don't know if there's anybody from America watching us today, from the United States, but they're not going to like my answer. Let's also crease this. Arijan, play guitar. I'm working on a 3D animated little documentary about a geopolitical documentary. And in that, I will have to create a little bit of music. A little bit of my own music featured in that for sound effects. People are saying Japanese, Canadians, Serbs or Bulgarians, Asians, Jews, Belarusians, Afghans, Romanians. Romanians are fucking awesome. I love Romanians. I've been there a million times. At least 50 times I've been to that country. I love it with all my heart. Venezuelans, I don't know. I've never met no Venezuelans. America in the house. Hello, Mr. America. Russian. My answer is the Iranians. I've never met a person from Iran who didn't immediately treat me like a family member, who didn't immediately invite me to their home to meet their family, to welcome me, to stay with them for as long as I like. They do this every single fucking time. No joke. Yeah, so for the Serbs, you know what, somebody, nah, I can't, you know, the Mike people and the Serbian people, we got some history, so, there's a lot of things we can talk about there, but you know what, I love Serbian people in general, because I think they're super cool. But the old heads around here will tell you, the same way that the Serbs will tell you, what they say over here is that if you want a friend in Serbia, get a dog. That's what they say around here. But did you know I lived in Serbia for a couple of years, 4 years, when I was a little boy. And anytime I meet a Serb, it's a great time. We always get along very well. See, young people don't have this resentment from back in the day when there was a war. Young people don't really carry this shit around. see what we're gonna see. Look at this. I follow the fucking line, but it doesn't work. If I go to front view, maybe that's a different line. I don't know. Is Kosovo Albanian or Serbian? It's not a subject I want to get involved in. It's not a subject I wanna give my opinion on at this time. I will in the future. See, this is where things get tricky, because down here we have lots of geometry. And by the way, let's just straighten this out. Should we do G stretch? It's probably not a good idea. How can I make a documentary like Fern? Yeah, I'm planning a little tutorial on that shit as well, because that's a pretty popular subject nowadays. I'm planning it because, guys, if you're a hard surface modeling Blender artist or 3D artist, that type of shit is a joke for you. It's so easy to do videos like Fern or the other documentary channels and all that. It's super easy compared to hardcore hard surface modeling. Like, look at this shit, guys. Look at what we're dealing with here. This requires lots of dexterity and lots of heavy thinking, whereas when you're doing those little documentaries or making simple scenes, it doesn't matter so much that it's very technically sophisticated or correct or anything like that. What matters is that you just get some decent visuals. It doesn't have to be realistic, it just has to be something that the person can look at as they're listening to the story. Okay. Hold on, let me save this. Oh, I just overwrote my old file where I did it pretty well. So now, look, we need to make an edge segment. Let's take this back. Take that back. And we're going to redirect this geometry from the side. Hold on, let's just look at our picture again. So check this out. We have this surface on the side, this little surface going over the front. So let's do that. That's this surface, okay, that we're extruding now. And then we need that to go inwards. We need that to go inwards. Okay, something like this. That's my shear tool, by the way. Guys, I don't put no ads on these live streams, so this shit is totally demonetized. So the reason I do that, like I said at the beginning, was so I don't get fucked over for talking to you guys about something when you ask me what I think about whatever, right? So if you guys want to support the channel, then check out my, I run my own ads. Then check out my courses in the description. So all the tools you guys are seeing me use right now, all the fucking things you might have never heard of before, you can see them explained. If you need some more explanations, I broke them all down in my masterclass course. In the description, you get a 10% discount if you write Atomic 10. There's only six people that can use that code. Why 6? I won't tell you. But there's only 6 people at this second that can use that code, so you guys go check that out. And if you do see an ad, it's not because of me, it's because YouTube is scamming me. Can you slow down a little bit? Not really, not today, because otherwise we're never gonna make any progress. See, now we have to do the top part. See, this is where things get a little bit complicated, because if I take these vertices here and I extrude them, I don't have enough. See, I need another face down here. But if I take the next one, that's way too low. So I need an extra vertex. This needs to be around here somewhere. And we're still gonna need some supporting geometry around that area. So what we should have done is probably somehow beveled this. Hold on. Let's do this first. Let's take this. We're going to extrude it inwards again. By the way, let's do just 2 subdivisions. Take this back. Now we have this little inner area, so we can work with it a little bit better. And we're just trying to get a rough shape now, so it doesn't matter if it's very accurate. It's going to be something like this for the front. And this is the part that's going to go, look, let's look at our picture again. No, not the live stream. What the fuck? Our phantom. So this surface that we're working on now, that's the one that goes above the eye. That's the one that goes above the eye. Hold on just a second. So this thing is going to give us our headlight. Now what I'm thinking is we can get a little bit of extra geometry on the inside here if we take this, we bevel it, Control B, 2 segments. We bring it to the end like this. And then this part, see, look, we can turn this into a quad. And we can maybe join, we can definitely do loop cut here to connect that. Which also gives us a little bit more controlled geometry so we can shape this curve. The problem is this should be connected to this area back here. So let's try rewiring this. Okay, so we can lose one vertex. We can lose one vertex. Maybe this doesn't even have to be. Yeah, look, we fucked that up pretty good. We lose one. No, we don't have to lose it even. Look. Bring it back, connect it here, and we just add an extra loop cut so that way, hold on, that way we can do our loop tools space a little bit better. What the fuck? Is it already spaced out? Let's clean this up. Loop tool space. Yeah, okay, later we can try to align this with a circle. What we're going to do is we bring another circle and we just carefully align these vertices. You know, 3D cursor, we're going to be a little surgical about that. So let's just leave it as it is for now. Just as long as our geometry is connected reasonably well. Later we can work on the little details. We can spend endless hours inflating and deflating this shit until the curvature is right. Right now we got to do this. And this. Okay, and of course later we're gonna make this softer with some bevels. It's not gonna be a crease. What is a femboy? A femboy is a male which behaves like a little faggot. That's a femboy, like a very feminine little boy. But the problem is that he's a grown man. So boys are feminine, right? When you're a little teenager, we're all quite feminine compared to how we are as grown men, hopefully. But a femboy is the kid who never overcomes that. So he never manages to turn into a man. That's his thing. It's like his style is to be like a little pussy. I don't even know if they do it intentionally, because some girls are into that, I guess. Some girls are kind of into, that's the young girls. Little girls are into that stuff. So maybe it's like if you're 20, maybe it's because they're low-key chomos. Look guys, now we have more geometry here, so we can make this little hood or eyelid or whatever, right? Look at that fucking wiring. You guys ever try doing any drugs and doing Blender? Drugs with Blender might work pretty well. Weed works pretty well. I probably shouldn't be talking about this because it's going to get me taken down, but weed will definitely help you focus and concentrate and think about the process a little bit more carefully. It does, I can tell you that from experience. The other drugs, not so much. Not so much because they're a little bit not the right thing for 3D modeling. Let's put it that way. I don't know what certain drugs, like maybe you know guys, when people got ADHD, they put you on pills so you can focus better. I don't know what happens if you take those when you're doing Blender. but I don't imagine that would work too well. Now we just want to distribute these a little bit better. Let's see what we can do about this. I really don't like how this is being pulled so far back. That bothers me, but we'll clean that up later. Ain't an Arijan stream without some bullshit, never. Fent and Blender. Weed is illegal in my country. Yeah, my country too, but everybody smokes weed, man. Everybody in my country, everybody in every country smokes weed. Except maybe like fucking North Korea or Saudi Arabia and Dubai. Okay, so let's try to also sharpen this mean crease. Let's see what we're supposed to do. You know what the thing is, guys, about cars? It looks like shit until quite far down in the process. And this can be very demoralizing when you're still a beginner, if you're doing it for the first time. See, right now you might be looking at this Arijan, what the fuck? It looks like shit, trust me. It's gonna work out well in the end. And if this is your first model, if you're doing something, if you're doing a car as your first model, and it looks like shit, you're gonna think, okay, I'm doing something wrong. You guys saw me sculpting the other day. It's like some parts at some point they look really fucking weird, and I don't know what to do. And if Ishak wouldn't have told me, yeah, this is how you're supposed to do it, this is fine, we'll fix that later, I would think that I fucked up and I would scratch the project. A lot of times that's what you gotta deal with. Let's fill this in real quick. This is where we're supposed to have the gap, right? Guys, now that everybody's here, make sure you join our Discord server, the Blender Prison Discord server. Read the fucking rules. Read how the roles work. Professor Sex is in the house. How are you, Professor Sex? I'm a femboy, but I just do this shit just for fun. Oh, man. ADHD pills. Yeah, listen, every girl that I've ever met in my life, not every girl, but a lot of girls, the crazy ones, all of them got some, oh, I've been diagnosed with ADHD. Bitch, no you haven't. What it turns out to be most of the time is that they're just like anxious because their life is out of their control. They don't know what to do with their lives. And then they go to the doctor because they can't focus because they're super stressed out, because they're sexually frustrated, or they don't know what to do with their lives. They're not fulfilled in their life or whatever. You know, people, especially younger people, they get anxious quite easily because of lack of guidance, or maybe their parents aren't right. So it's very easy to stress out. They can't focus because they're always stressing out, and then they end up scrolling all the time. They have no discipline. Their mind is all fucked up. Their minds are very easy to manipulate, so they fall into all this propaganda. When you scroll for 2 hours, or if you spend some time scrolling on fucking reels, when you snap out of it, you feel like garbage. You feel like shit. Okay? Now imagine you do this all day and then you're vaping. No wonder you got anxiety. No wonder you're all fucked up. Your mind's all over the place. You can't focus because you fucked up your brain with all this shit, right? But you go to the doctor and he tells you, no, it's okay. You're just mentally ill. This is something that you can't control. You can't fix this. Don't worry. It's not you scrolling all day. It's not you never working out. It's not you never going outside. It's not because you're always fucking doing all these drugs and you don't have any discipline to focus on something or create something. It's because there's just something wrong with you. You're born that way. Here, take these drugs for the rest of your life. I don't know what else to tell you. Come to therapy once a month and we'll talk about what you've been doing. But just take these drugs, take these drugs, take these drugs, take these drugs. In America, you got to pay for them. Over here, you don't got to pay for them. Well, maybe you do. I think you do in Poland. But anyway, you're paying for them. If you're not paying for them, it's the fucking government paying for them or something like that. And then that's how Big Pharma makes money off of your sorry ass, because you're too stupid to understand that what the doctors tell you might not be in your best interest. A lot of times that's what happens. So they give you pills for this stuff so you can concentrate, but what they really give you is like fucking speed or something, which is the lowest drug you can possibly get. If you go to the clubs, guys, and you ask for the cheapest shit, it's gonna be speed. It's fucking garbage. It's amphetamines and stuff like that. I don't know if that's the same thing as the ADHD pills, but anyway, it's definitely not something good for you. It's not like we're drinking orange juice and spreading avocados with salt on fucking toast, alright? This shit is highly processed chemicals. Nobody knows what's in there. Drink a beer. Relax. You'll be all right. So if they're telling you that you got ADHD, they're fucking lying to you. They're making a fool out of you. The doctor doesn't know any better. The doctor's just telling you what they told him to tell you in school. So you can't even blame him. He's just a fucking pawn. Let's just see if we push this a little too far. Could be something like that, right? And let's switch matte caps. Let's do something shiny. Because when we're looking at something shiny, then it's easier to detect the flaws in our bumps and all that. There are a lot of streamers in Twitch who put in their title, Stream ADHD, and something to be proud of. Yeah, because people use it as a sort of excuse to be a victim. You know, oh, poor me, oh, poor you. Oh, I'm so sorry you have to go through that. You're so brave, girl. And girls love this shit. Because then they get to play the victim. Girls love that stuff. Get my rolls back. Should probably open up my rolls up here just so we can... Image editor. This is my migrant boat, look. I didn't even download this image. Should we do pure ref? I bought your book, bro. It's a good one, thank you. Thank you very much, my friend. I'm gonna do a little update on that book as well. On the Blender Pro Tips ebook. But I'll tell you more about that when it's closer to being out. And by the way, the Blender Masterclass is like a slightly more advanced version of the Blender Pro Tips ebook because there's more things in there explained in video as well. Let's put this in the corner. So right now we're up here. This is supposed to be a pretty tight corner and we're supposed to have... See, look at this little fucking detail, guys. Hold on a second. This is where you get hemorrhoids. Rolls-Royce Phantom. Fucked up my back yesterday doing some squats. I did 3 plates for 4 reps. I just worked up to that one set. Didn't want to max out. I could have probably done like 7 reps. 7, 8 reps. But I didn't want to because it was like after my 1 week break or something like that. I haven't been working out in a while. I haven't been doing squats in a while, so I just wanted to kind of ease into it. Well, that wasn't really easing into it, but I wanted to test my strength. So I did my warm-ups and everything. I did 3 plates, but that's fucking... I'm sore today. I think 3 plates is probably like... Okay, so listen. What I thought was there's a little edge here where this fucking surface merges down here, right? So it's going to continue down here on the side. But it's not. The surface stops here with the light, so that's good. That makes our lives a little bit easier. I drink Budweiser. Budweiser, the Czech beer. So this is okay, and we're gonna have a loop cut here to tighten this up. And by the way, listen, since we're supposed to tighten this up, look, it's way too big a curve now. It's supposed to be a smaller curve. Here's what we're gonna do, guys. I take, before we add this, I take this surface here, I inset it with I, and then I press B to disable boundary, and that just gives me a supporting loop that goes from here to the side here, and I don't have to close it anywhere because it just turns. So it helps me tighten up this corner. So let's look at that very quickly as a comparison. Look at it now and look at it before. Okay, and it is quite clean, especially when we add some more geometry here, which we probably should have done before because we probably should have had like an extra edge segment here like this, and then we can probably take this and inset it. I love Poland, guys. Poland is a fucking cool country. Polish people don't fuck around. Alright, that's not gonna work. You guys see why. So what we can do instead is just bring one of these edge segments closer. Like that. Maybe we can also pull this one up a little bit. And if we add an extra loop cut here, we got to figure out what we're going to do with it, because we can't have it end up here. So I'm not really sure I want to do that. Let's just do it like this for now, and we're going to see what happens. That's pretty good, right? Now, of course, yeah, we're going to have to push this a little bit closer to the outside of the surface. We're going to have to melt this into the mesh a little bit better. We're going to have to make sure everything bends better. We're going to do that shit later. Does it really matter about these little details? Listen, the main purpose of my live stream here is to hang out with you guys and to show you some fucking tips, okay? To show you some techniques, to show you something which you guys might not have seen before, you know, so show you how I create certain things, how I would approach certain issues. It's not so important that we finish the fucking car or that we're particularly time efficient, as long as you guys can see something from me, so you guys gain something from these live streams, all right? Because I'm a very generous man, clearly. I'm doing this for you guys. So guys, subscribe to the fucking channel. I don't even monetize these goddamn live streams. I don't get paid fuck all for doing these live streams. I can't imagine doing that for a video game. I mean, of course it's possible, but optimization will be hell. Well, that's debatable. Is the stream being uploaded afterwards? Yeah. Czechia mentioned, dude, I love Czechia. Listen, I was in Brno the other day. Not the other day, but this summer, a couple of months ago. I drove from Budapest to Prague. Man, I've been to Czech Republic a couple of times. I love that place. It's fucking pure. It's culturally very pure. The people are super nice. I've not met one Czech person who isn't exceptionally kind. They're super fucking kind and polite. They have that German politeness, but they have that Eastern European kindness to them and friendliness. Super clean, super affordable, and it has the best. I think Czech Republic has the best economy from all the Warsaw Pact countries. Better than Poland, I think, even. Somebody look up gross domestic income and gross domestic product per capita of Czech Republic and Poland and compare them. So gross domestic GDI per capita and GDP per capita. DMB, what's that? Yeah, it looks alright, doesn't it? It's not looking too bad. Now let me show you this part underneath, because now look, we have this curve here. Mr. Elijah Bowen, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate your work. Thank you, my friend. So look, this here, we're going to, well, we don't even have to inset it, but I would like to, just so I can keep my geometry here. Because one option is we delete this and then we use this to shape the curve, right? Like that. Or the other option is we move this shit out of the way. Let's bring this back. We move this segment out of the way. We lift it up a little bit. By the way, guys, I'm thinking about moving back to Poland again for a little while. I have to be there for something. I wanna go back to Poland for a while again. I lived there for about 6 months. I lived there from September 24. What is the year today? 25, right? I lived there from September 24 to February 25, so about 5 months or something, right? And then I left, but I can't wait to go back. And I'm visiting in a couple of days. I can't tell you guys how excited I am to go to that country. Unfortunately, Holocaust denial is a crime there, which in my worldview is is it called? Is infringement the word I'm looking for? It means it goes against the idea of freedom of speech. Okay, in Croatia it's not banned. In Denmark it's not even banned. Who would have thought? I can't use super chats in Austria, dude. Fuck super chats because YouTube robs creators through super chats. I think we only get like 50% or something like that. Somebody Google it. I'm not sure what the number is. Maybe they changed it now, but it was terrible. It was terrible. Let's see. Okay, now we can do this surface, or should we do the inside of the light, which is supposed to go upwards a little bit? Open a cam studio in there. What do you mean cam studio? Oh, like bitches. Pimping hoes in Poland. Yeah, there's a lot of fucking hoes in Poland, dude. I had this experience in Poland where I got to witness a lot of bitches, a lot of young girls acting like whores. I was on a lot of parties, let's put it that way. It was all business. Because I'm not exactly... I like to party, but to an extent. So this shit was business. And man, the number of young girls, 18, 19, even 17, the amount of young fucking whores out there that just behave like fucking prostitutes, that have no dignity at all. It's very sad. It's very sad that young people are... There's a lot of young people who are like this, who are just complete fucking degenerates. I got stories for you guys, which I won't get into unless somebody asks, but the kind of fucking degeneracy I've seen is quite rough. So I'm sure that it's a good place to start a cam studio. Is the entire live stream going to be available? Yeah, sure it is. You get 70%, YouTube takes 30%. Okay, that's not so bad. Top 3, I think, are Ukrainians, Russians, Polish, Romanian girls. Yeah. No, I wasn't at no Diddy party. There's no black people in Poland. By the way, guys, you know what I heard about Diddy? That the whole thing with him, he wasn't even doing no fucking trafficking. You know what I listen to? I listen to Hodge Twins podcasts sometimes. Especially when I fly, because I find them very fucking entertaining to listen to. And when I listen to comedy, it calms my nerves. It calms my... I started getting scared of flights. I used to love flying, but now I fucking hate it when I saw those planes crashing and shit. I don't want to fucking die in an airplane. If I'm going to die, shoot me in the head. Let me get stabbed in the street in a street fight. Let me die in a car accident, at least doing something fun, you know, doing 200 on the highway. Let me, you know, something like that. Not in a fucking plane crash. Let me die on the battlefield or something. So I listen to Hodge Twins podcast sometimes, and then I listen to this one about this guy who was like their gigolo. He was like the guy that Diddy would bring around to fuck his wife. Cassie, right, was his wife. So he would pay this guy. The Punisher was his name or something. The guy's fucking hilarious, man. I recommend you guys go watch that. It's fucking hilarious. But he said that what happened was they would invite him, pay him $2,000 a night to fuck his wife, and Diddy would just watch, bang one out in the corner, and all this shit. I don't want to get into the gory details because I'm assuming there's kids watching us, so I don't want to talk to you about the details of what I heard they were doing. But he said that they practically got busted for this stuff because that's basically prostitution. You're paying guys to come over and fuck, right? You're paying people to come over and fuck, which is illegal. That's prostitution. There was no fucking human trafficking. But they framed him because he would pay for some girls' plane tickets or something, which means now you're paying girls to cross international borders and they're prostitutes, so that technically qualifies as human trafficking, which, well, is what they got busted on. So it's a lie that there was a fucking huge human trafficking operation where they were... Apparently that's a lie. I don't know. I don't give a fuck, to be honest with you. It's just interesting how they can twist the story and how we never really know what's going on. Except with 9/11, I definitely know what's going on there. So we have to push this out a little bit. See this? Push this out a little bit. And that will go up and merge with the next best thing here. Check this out. Extrude. Guys, apart from Arijan 3D, of course, who's your favorite YouTuber that you watch, or a content creator or whatever? Who's somebody that you really like, and why? Tell me why. Don't just say you like them. You gotta have a good reason to like somebody or dislike somebody, because otherwise you're being manipulated to do it. Otherwise, chefu. Fac schiur din sicriul mătii. In Romania, we have ads on YouTube with video cam studios. Yeah, I heard it's fucking... Man, Romania is a great place, guys. If you can visit Romania, go. It's fucking incredible. It's the best people. It's an awesome fucking place. When I went to Romania, the first time I went there was 2018, just before my 18th birthday. Wait, we fucked up. Just before my 18th birthday was the first time I went to Romania. And those people are so welcoming. You go there, you go with your friend, and if your friend vouches for you, you're good. Everybody treats you like your family, like they know you for 10 years. Nobody can really understand you. Well, young people speak very good English, but you know, the old people, the parents, the grandparents, and all this shit. They don't speak English, but they'll talk to you. Somebody's translating. They're giving you booze. They're giving you cigarettes and all this shit. So Romanians are awesome people. Okay, now I have to fix my dilemma here because I pushed this inwards a bit too far, but I think it's supposed to be that way. So let's take this as well. Hold on, not this one. Let's take this in that direction as well. Our blueprint, I'm not going to consider perfectly accurate. I'm just going to roughly follow it. And we have this line curving backwards. I don't know if that's the case for us. It definitely is. Look. See how it merges back here and then it goes upwards for the windshield. National Geographics. Those videos sometimes give me hope. What do you mean National Geographics? Guys. Oh, you mean on YouTube National Geographics. I think that's what you meant. Yeah, they're pretty cool. They're pretty cool. I don't know. I'm talking out of my ass. I have no fucking idea. National Geographic is probably owned by... I won't say it, but you know what I mean. I bet you it is owned by... Owned by them who shall not be named, guys. Okay, so now, listen, here's my problem. Let's just delete this. I want to take this back and merge it back here somehow, some way. So let's get rid of this geometry so it's not getting in the way. How are you, Arijan? Where'd you get the blueprint? I just Googled Rolls-Royce Phantom blueprint and I'm good, thank you. How are you? Googled Rolls-Royce blueprint and this thing came up. So it's like, it turned out to be like a vector, which I took a screenshot of because I couldn't download it. And guys, I'm going to show you something very important here soon. Because I can see that that's what it's getting at here with this technique that I'm about to use here. And maybe we should delete one of these because... Nah, it's okay. We can handle two at a time. Let's just make sure that we follow the curvature as we go up. It'll be something like this. Guys, how many countries have you been to? Hi, Arijan. Hello, Vivek. Don't forget to save, yeah. Name them. I don't know who you're talking about. You know who I'm talking about. Don't fuck with me. No, it wasn't regarding 3D. Fuck 3D. I mean, what do you guys... who do you watch outside of 3D? what I'm the reason I'm asking you the question is so that I can see what kind of people you guys are like, so that I can figure out what interests you guys have outside of 3D modeling, if any. See, now we have to merge. If we're gonna do this, we're gonna have to merge these edge segments over here with these on the side. Let's adjust this. Still got that a little bit fucked up here. Gotta make sure it's flowing nice and smooth, so this is not gonna work. You see how it goes down and then it goes less down. That's not supposed to happen. That's what I was telling you. So if we make an edge between these two, it's above the vertex, which is not good. So that means we have to lift this up. But also we can just see by the blueprint. So you want to have a constant sort of constant path, or a constantly, not even constantly descending. I don't remember the right mathematical terminology to describe this sort of shape, but you know what I'm talking about. Crypto trading, that's right, man. Listen, I offer discounts on all my products in 3D modeling and outside of my fucking YouTube channel as well for crypto. Always, guys, anytime you're doing any sort of business, make sure to mention that you got crypto, that you do crypto, you accept crypto payments, and you're ready to pay in crypto. A lot of times you're going to get discounts for that shit, and you're going to meet people who you can connect with who are smarter than the average person because they're financially educated, most likely. At least more so than the average person. It's good to have those kind of people around you. So if you do have crypto, always see if you can strike that up as a conversation with people from time to time, because it's going to bring you great benefits in this world. Not the next one, though. What do we do? What is this shit? Okay, so it's looking okay from here. It's not perfectly aligned with the blueprint, but who gives a fuck about the blueprint? We just have to push this forwards a little more like this. Maybe we actually have to push this backwards a little bit. That's what it really is. Which means we also have to scale this down a little bit. Car modeling, guys, takes an incredible amount of time. Okay, so far we're an hour in. Rust Bucket Motorsports. I don't know what that is. Do you accept crypto for some work? Absolutely. Anything I do, whether it's 3D modeling or whatever, I always deal with crypto. I always accept crypto, and I think it's a phenomenal thing, and everybody should do the same. If you're a young person right now, guys, if you're somebody who's interested in having some success in your life, if you're somebody who's interested in progressing in your life, and if you're somebody who's interested in innovation and changing the world for better, crypto is one of those things. So I highly recommend you guys look into that and consider it as something which can greatly add to your life and to our economy. So we can join this here if we add another loop cut. Let me just check that. And then we got two more. We're not gonna try to connect those there, but we could try to connect this here, and then loop cut there, and then we could do that's not gonna work. We could dissolve this one, or we could dissolve this one. I don't want to dissolve this one because that's going to give me a bad quad here. I don't want that. We should ideally have, you know what, fuck it. That, and let's do something like this. Let's see what happens. I think it might be okay if we just work this part properly. So this is supposed to be nice, and hold on. This should probably be a little bit lower. Because we have this big thing sticking out. And then this here is supposed to be pretty flat. So every point here is supposed to be approximately the same as every point here. So I think we have to lower this a little bit further down. This is where shit becomes a pretty big headache. So it'll be something like this, although it is a little bit higher. It is a little bit higher. And this is where you want to start using your loop tools, because loop tools are going to help us organize this, distribute this a little bit better. So look, loop tool space, loop tool circle, loop tools relax, not circle. What do we do? Okay. Using photo matching for more accurate shapes. Hello, Arijan Race. Dude, I can't fucking believe they sent me this thing. And they actually carved, look. Let me just make sure I don't have any contraband behind me before I open up my camera. Alright, we're good. Check this out, guys. Oh, fuck, this might crash my OBS. I don't know if you can see it, but they actually carved fucking Arijan Race, and they mailed that shit to me in the mail into Poland. They didn't figure it out. They didn't catch me. They didn't catch me. I told them Arijan Race. It's because I do cars, right? I like cars. I like racing. So, you know, plausible deniability right there. And it fucking worked. Don't tell them though, guys. Don't tell them. I think they probably see it came from the paper right here. It came from Neil Mohan, YouTube CEO. I got a signature. Yeah, right. My ass. He signed this. So this came from. I got a paper somewhere, probably like San Francisco or something like that. I don't know where shit came from. But the Americans, they pronounced my name as Arijan. So they probably thought it was Arijan Race, which doesn't sound very close. So they probably didn't. It didn't occur to them that there's maybe something going on here. But hopefully, well, I'm glad they made the right decision, because definitely wasn't a reference to anything else, of course. Arijan, yeah, Arijan Belek is how they say my name. Poland, yeah, I have a Croatian, but I lived in Poland for a while, and I'm going back there in a couple of days. Let's bring back the subdivision surface. Guys, you know who I also love watching? Jesse Lee Peterson. Jesse Lee Peterson is a fucking legend. This guy, he's like, he's one of those guys that claims that I shouldn't be saying these things because they might get me. Well, he's on YouTube saying it, so he's not getting banned, so I guess I can say it too. He's talking about how the blacks in America, they did much better during the Jim Crow era before the civil rights movement, because they were much more civilized, and now, he according to him, right, it is the black people who destroy societies in America. They don't create nothing, they're just all fucked up. That's what he claims. It's not me saying that. I'm not fucking American. It's got nothing to do with me. I don't give a fuck, okay? Or maybe I'm just trying to protect my ass from getting busted on YouTube. But he said, he says these kind of things, and then he gets on these super liberal black activists, and he just talks to them about these things, and he asks them the right questions, and they just fucking, they lose their minds, man, and it's fucking hilarious. A fucking legend this guy is. And he's just calmly having a discussion with them, trying to, you know, ask them some questions. You know, he'll bring on a gay pastor or something like that, and he'll tell him, hey, look, we got a problem. We got a face loop here, which if we select it here, it goes up, we have one edge starting here, it goes up, and then goes down here. We could connect this, but then what the fuck do we do with this, right? Obviously, we can't just add another loop cut here, because that just gives us an additional problem. So, here's how we're going to do it. Down here, let me get another picture of the headlights. this is the inner part of the headlights, right? So we're gonna get, let's say, this picture. Let me pull it up for you guys. Oh, fuck. I herniated a fucking disc yesterday. Spiral edge loop, yeah. Spiral edge loop, we don't want those. So here, this is supposed to be... So you see how this edge segment here is sharp? This edge, look. This thing here is quite sharp. There's a sharp corner. It's not just a reflection. It's actually a sharper corner. And then it merges into this, which is a smooth surface, a flat surface. So give me a pencil. Let me draw this for you. So there's a surface. This here is a smooth surface, right? This. And then this here is like a little bevel. Okay, it starts off pointy here. This is a sharp edge. We got an edge here. And we got an edge coming from over here, which merges into this surface in the front. But this thing here is like a surface, which then curves a little bit over here. So we could draw a line there, but it's quite soft. So we got a bevel here, which merges into a sharp point. Relatively sharp compared to this. But this here is a nice surface, right? So this is going to be something we got to keep in mind. Ima nas, kako ne? Just search on YouTube what JT toots. Search on YouTube JT Jutes and react his experience by modeling weapons custom for COD. Maybe. I enjoy doing so many things, from anything to do with cars to crypto, futures trading, but I can't do everything 100% perfectly. So I'm still into FL Studio, dude. I love making music, and it's one of my great passions in life. But you gotta organize yourself properly. There's time in your day to do everything, and you can organize your life so you can do everything. The problem is, do you have enough discipline to do that? Because we all got a lot of time in our lives that we burn away that we could have definitely used better. So just think about that. If we push this backwards, we fill this, and see, this is what we can use to make that little big bevel back here. And then we can sort of bring this closer and merge that with, let me just think about this for a second. We have to redirect something. So this is going to end up going up, I think. This we probably have to push a little bit further to the front. Oh yeah, but I just did this. Arijan is a good name. Are you Indian? I'm not Indian. I'm Croatian. I'm white. I'm white. Arijan is a great fucking name, isn't it? What is wrong with continuing the edge loop round? Because it's going to give us a spiral and it's going to shoot all over the place. It's going to be very difficult to manage. We won't be able to add our loop cuts, because if we add a loop cut, it's going to shoot up here and go somewhere else and fuck everything up. So hold on, man. What we want to have here is this. This is going to turn into two. This is what we want to have. Look, that is what we want. So this thing over here is acting as supporting geometry for this part. Let's just get rid of the crease so I can demonstrate it to you. This is 700 IQ, guys. You got to be intelligent like me to do this. So we have this curve. That's supporting geometry for this corner, okay? But then we don't want that to go anywhere else other than here, inwards, where it's gonna give us an extra piece of geometry, an extra vertex to form this bevel back there. And we don't want it to go over here in the front because we don't need it. This is gonna be a flat surface. And then Since we turned that away, now we just have one edge which we can connect with this, and now we don't have a spiral. Look, that's a clean loop. That's a clean loop. This over here goes back there. That's all good. Thomas Cullen, I think, would approve of this. What about making a stream with guys from Discord? Just voice call. It'll be a fucking... Yeah, we did that once. It's pretty good. We might do that again. Maybe later, guys. Maybe some after hours later on. But tell me something. What's the benefit of doing that compared to just streaming on YouTube? I guess it's so that some people can chat with me a little bit, but then someone's gonna drop the hard R. They're gonna play the sound. You know, they're gonna get me fucking... Oh, but if it's not on YouTube, I don't have to care. You're right. Maybe. We'll see. Yeah, so this was 700 IQ. What you just saw. And now we just have to manage this. We gotta clean it up a little. This is what's gonna take a lot of your fucking time. So if I wasn't on stream, I would have been moving a lot slower because I'll probably just be doing this as I go. But it's very boring to watch that stuff and to do these tiny adjustments and spend a bunch of time just, you know, making sure that everything is falling into place correctly and you have no bumps. That takes a lot of fucking time. And by the way, we have to adjust the angle of this thing on the inside here because, like I said, it's supposed to be flat with this surface. Is supposed to continue inwards like that. So let's see if we can do that. Let's get rid of our smooth shading. Let's get rid of our subdivision surface. We can also get rid of this at this point because it's only extra control points, which are going to be harder to work with. Get this out of the way. And then this, give me front view. See, I never get the front view thing right. I always go to side view on accident. I convinced, guys, I had ChatGPT diagnose me with autism. And he was 100% confident that I am autistic. I told him the truth, too. It's just a matter of how you word it. So I think a lot of times it's also doctors pulling a fast one on you and your child. Big Pharma, guys, is the biggest fucking mafia the world. No, it's not the biggest, but it's a massive criminal organization peddling fucking drugs. Okay, guys, you can go to the pharmacy and get some fucking painkillers through the doctor. You can get some drugs that fuck with your mind. Those things can really fuck you up. You can get Xanax from the doctors, from the pharmacy. It's all legal, right? If you do it properly, it's all legal. That's okay, even though you can kill yourself on that shit. Weed is illegal. Why? Mushrooms are illegal. Why? What for? Anyway, dude, we got love from Sudan. Are you fucking kidding me, man? We got somebody watching us from Sudan. Shout out to Sudan, guys. Listen, the newest country in the world, I don't know if it's still the case, but I believe is South Sudan, right? So Sudan is a country I would love to visit. It's a fucking, it's still a war going on there. I wouldn't say it's a civil war anymore, but, because now there's two separate countries, right? But tell us how it is down there, Mr. Where is he? I can't find him anymore. The gentleman from Sudan. There he is, Mr. Safi. You know who my favorite Sudanese person is? Myron Gaines from Fresh and Fit. He's from Sudan, right? His family is from Sudan. He's an American, but his parents migrated from Sudan, I believe. Was it? Okay, so what I'm trying to do now is... I should probably take this and move it like this. Check that out. Gotta be careful with this. We move that to make this part flat, and then now it's a flat surface because of the sliding, right? And this, we can do something kind of similar. We just have to extend it further. So double G and Alt. to push it further along this edge until it eventually reaches a point where it meets this surface, or it's on the plane that we need it to be on. A little bit of vector math for you. Hey guys, is there anybody in Croatia watching me who's a car mechanic, or who knows, who's got somebody who's a car mechanic who's got car parts, who can get me an engine, who's got like a fucking yard with cars and shit like that? I need some parts from you. I need some help sourcing some parts, and I don't want to buy them online because that's how you get ripped off. I want a mechanic locally. Hello from Switzerland. Hello to Switzerland. I'm having trouble making clean topology in Blender. Do you have any tips? Yes. Watch Thomas Collin. Go subscribe to Thomas Collin 3D. First thing. I don't know if I got a video outlining this shit properly, but make sure you learn how to use quads only. Make sure you... Nobody's got tutorials on this stuff. I should make some tutorials, but listen, right now, if you want to, I'm not going to try to sell you nothing for gatekeeping. I'm just saying right now, the only place I know I got this shit explained for sure is in my Blender Masterclass course in the topology section. Everything that I ever use for topology, all the principles I follow are in there. But I'm pretty sure I got some videos on YouTube as well. I just don't remember their titles about topology, the key principles for topology. So I'm not trying to sell you nothing by being a gatekeeping asshole. I'm just saying, I know I got it in the course, but I probably also got some videos on my channel, so you can probably look those up on my channel. Arijan topology for beginners, topology tips, or something like that. So find those, but if you just want a general overview, right? If you want like not an overview, but if you want to dive deep, if you want a general overview, then just watch my live stream as I'm going. I mention things from time to time, so just take note of them. For panel gap, using the shrink wrap technique, we'll see about that. If not, how do you achieve light flowing smoothly between panels when you light the car? We'll cross that bridge when we get there. It's an extensive subject to cover. Yeah, look. I think we should probably bring this a little closer because I need some supporting geometry. No, wait a minute. We don't have to do all that. I need some supporting geometry up here. By the way, guys, I came up with some t-shirt designs. You know that? I showed you guys last time. I managed to put them on... I went through Printify, although I learned that, well, Printify is not owned by Shopify, I think. Though Shopify is owned by the small hat people. I don't want to use Shopify, but they wouldn't let me anyway, not for the t-shirts that I'm making. The problem is that when I make t-shirts, they're produced in the fucking United States, and if I set a price to $30 or something, they're gonna end up charging you like fucking $55 if you're buying it from Europe. And Arijan's cut is only like $10. So it's a robbery. Yeah, 271k shirt. I'll show you guys my shirt. You guys want to see my shirt? Give me a one in the chat if you want to see my shirt. If we get enough ones, then we'll look at the shirt. Otherwise, we're gonna keep modeling. But the shirts are gonna be fucking beautiful. I just gotta figure out a way to make it economically viable, you know. Maybe I'll even print them locally. I'll find somebody who does this. If there's a local business na Balkanu, ako ima neki biznis, ako zna neko, da printa majice, who can print t-shirts for good prices and ship them around Europe, send me a message on Instagram so we can work together. Alright, everybody wants to see the fucking t-shirt. Guys, buckle up. Buckle up. I love my t-shirts, guys. Let me just log in here. If they didn't ban me already. A čovjek sam, jebote. Okay. Yeah. There we go. This is our t-shirt, guys. Look. 271,000 vertices in the front. It looks very gray. I don't know why it looks gray. It's supposed to be black. It's because black is nice. 271,000 vertices. And in the back, we got... Hi there. In the back, we got 911 Blender. This is from my desktop background. No, I looked up another picture. See what a fucking fashion designer I am, guys. I can do this shit for real. I want to make sure that we got decent quality pictures. That we got decent quality, not pictures, shirts, materials, and stuff like that. I don't want nobody to put this t-shirt on and look like a faggot, right? And by the way, look at these models. We need to replace them with Arijan. Arijan would make a better model. None of these guys look good. None of these guys, what the fuck? Okay, we got a white guy, we got a light skin, we got a... What's that, a Mexican guy? Then we got chicks. We got a white girl. Okay, it seemed to be quite balanced and mixed. Anyway, hope you guys enjoy my 911 design, and we're gonna get that shit in production as soon as I figure out a way to make it economically viable. As I said, don't ask for permission, ask for forgiveness later. Make one for Palestine. You know what my support of Palestine is? By the way, guys, I'm thinking of starting a GoFundMe, right? Or something like that. Somebody tell me if there's what's a good platform for this stuff, so we can I'll tell you guys on Discord what I want to do. I'll tell you on Discord what I want to do. But some GoFundMe so we can help some people out, people in need, all right? Maybe I'm thinking about doing that. Let's check how we're doing. Because ideally, I don't want to go through any third party. I want to just do it myself privately and just send somebody some money or send something. I don't know how it even works down there, so I would need some connections down there. Although YouTube's gonna take down my channel for supporting terrorism if I do that, but fuck YouTube. Fuck YouTube. You know what the problem is, guys? When you pay taxes, which you're apparently legally obliged to do as an American, you know where those taxes go? There's people in the land, in the promised land down there, the chosen people. They live for free. They get free healthcare, free education. They don't work. Their lives are completely funded by your taxes. You pay taxes as a hard-working American. All that money, instead of being used to give you free healthcare or free education, instead of being used to help out your people when there's a natural disaster, no, they send it to those people over there. So just be aware of that. But you're a criminal if you don't pay your taxes. What do you say about that, guys? Isn't that nuts? Buy 3D model for weapons and ship them. Yeah, I guess I got a comment to make on that, but I'm gonna keep it to myself because I don't want to get busted. You guys know that it's only a matter of time before. Let's say if Arijan had 1 million subscribers or 1.5 million subscribers, I wouldn't be able to get away with this shit that we're talking about here today. And you guys know that damn well. Something would happen. They would come out with Arijan's a fucking rapist or some shit like that. You know that's how it goes. Something would happen. But you best believe I'll be ready. And if I gotta do some time, if Arijan has to go behind bars for a little while, so be it. So be it. Because God knows that I'm innocent. Alright. So that turned out alright. I just want to see if I can... This part doesn't look right because it's a little too soft. It's supposed to be a little bit sharper, so we're supposed to have something like this. Look, we take this and we slide it. Back and forth just to straighten it out. And then we're probably supposed to have some supporting geometry. And look how clean my face is over here. I can just add a loop because it's going to go down. I'm having a big problem when I upload a render from Blender to Instagram. Yeah, that's rough. That's rough. That's an issue we gotta talk about a different occasion because I'm not sure that I have a solution either yet. I always think I got a solution and then that fucks up as well. Rendering your video in a higher bitrate in Premiere Pro. Thomas Collin, imagine if you and I were emperors of Earth. Thomas Collin and Arijan 3D, Arijan race, rule the world together. Islam really suits you, Arijan. You know, I got a lot of people inviting me to Islam. And I appreciate that, guys. But that's not going to happen anytime soon. Because I'm a Christian. But I know that you guys right now, you Muslim people, what's happening is that the world, particularly the West, is waging war on you. It's waging war on you. Because they want us to believe that it's Islam that is really the work of the devil. That's what they want us to believe. But that's not the case. It's really, there's another Abrahamic religion. Let's put it that way. I just came up with a great idea. There's another Abrahamic religion which is the work of the devil. Check this shit out, guys. We need this to be a little tighter, right? I will make it tight. We'll make it real tight. If this is a flat surface, then we should be able to get away with this. Look. Yeah, guys, UK is fucked. We should be able to... Okay. We turn this inwards, right? Yeah, bigger. We turn this inwards. They're not all on the same plane, of course, but they're close to it. So this might... I think I kind of fucked it up. What I'm thinking of doing is redirecting this. We got to make sure that this is a little bit cleaner and a little bit flatter, though. So this here has to be a little bit more flat. Maybe we do some G-stretch over here. That's not gonna work. What's another tool for this, guys? Loop tools, G-stretch. Ah, okay, it works. I'm doing it wrong. Should be free for everyone. And above all, private. Convincing people to become religious shouldn't be about feeling it and doing it with love. Well, that's what I believe in as well, but societies are functioning. So human societies have always been built on the idea that people within that society have to have something in common. They have to have their same first principles, first values matching, right? So for example, if you are somebody who believes that drugs are work of the devil, and drugs are absolutely forbidden under all circumstances, for example, I don't know, party drugs, whatever the fuck, alcohol and all that. You believe that a society will work that way best. You're willing to die for this. There's nothing in the world that I can do to convince you otherwise. If I believe the opposite, right? I believe that a society can function very well, even if there are drugs and alcohol, as long as they're under control and they're used responsibly. You and I will never agree on this, and if we can't agree on this, naturally it won't be very easy for us to live together, because I'll be wanting to party, I'll be wanting to do some drugs, to do some alcohol, to fuck around, right? For you, this is completely unacceptable. And for me, I'll lose my fucking mind if we can't do this stuff, so we can't live together. So, in my society, I want to have society where people think like me, so I can have it my way. You, in your society, you want to have a society where people think like you. So, from my perspective, if you want to be a part of my society, my civilization, you're going to have to bend to our principles. From your perspective, if I'm going to integrate into your society because I want to benefit from, I want to get a wife from one of your people, I want to take one of your people's daughters, I want to get a job from one of your people, I want to integrate, I have to operate by those principles, right? Obviously, that would only make sense, because otherwise I'm just a fucking foreigner. I'm not one of you people because I'm totally different. I don't do the things the way that you want me to do them. So, naturally, you're going to try and, not only try, but you're going to insist that people behave a certain way in your society. And those principles that I'm talking about, they largely come from religion. Certainly in Islam, certainly in Christianity. A lot of our principles come from Christianity in my society, in the society that I live in. Even though people don't identify as Christian as much anymore, which is quite sad, because, well, the way that we live in our society is greatly based on traditional Christian values. Even though people don't really see that, because people imagine Christian values as you're going to church, praying 3 times a day, you're going to confess your sins, and you're going to do this, you're going to do that. That's what people, young people especially, see Christianity as. And if you don't want to do all that, which is not very attractive to a lot of young people, that means you're not a Christian, you're an atheist, you don't believe in that. You don't believe in the conventional view. So they just kind of go, step away from it, but really they are still a Christian, operating by Christian principles. They just don't see it. They're not aware of it, because they're not actively participating in the church. And the church is very different from Christianity itself, because the church is, the Catholic Church, the modern Catholic Church, is a man-made, man-operated institution. Arguably, it was founded by Christ himself, but it's quite different today from what it was back in the day. I'm not too happy with this part. I want to do something about it, but I'm not sure if it's worth the time, because we're doing quite well. Let's slide this back and forth again. This is not good. You see, we have this weird dent here, and that's because, well, we got supporting geometry going along here, but not inwards, and that's what I wanted to fix originally. That's why I wanted to make this a little more flat. So let's try that again. Dissolve that. Give you that. No. Maybe we gotta roll this backwards a little bit. That's probably supposed to be a little bit softer, right? That'll be okay. Then same thing up here. Same thing up here. There we go. And now maybe we can push this a little bit closer. How am I doing, Thomas Colin? I don't know if Thomas is still with us, but tell me, Thomas, how am I doing? Did I fuck up real bad somewhere? Thomas Colin's approval is very encouraging. That's why I always ask for it. It's very encouraging. All right, fuck it. That's good enough. That turned out quite well. Got some work to do up here, perhaps. That's doing pretty well so far. Check the chat, brother. Hello, brother. I want to buy your course. Can you give me some discount coupon for me? I am from Bangladesh. If you check in the description, there's already 10% coupon, 10% discount code which you can use when you check out. Arijan is literally the Tate of the 3D world. Why? Arijan, do you get any burnouts? What's a burnout? A burnout is when you're working hard and then it's just like you get sick of it, right? Oh yeah, you bet I do. You bet I do, but fuck it, we keep the train moving. The show must go on. Because we got shit to do, and my back hurts, and I'm still going to the gym, and I'm sore, and I'm still going to the gym, and, you know, I mean, you gotta be reasonable. If you're not being productive, there are times when you're just fucked mentally. You cannot concentrate for whatever reason. Nothing's working right. You need to do something about that. Sometimes you do end up in a mental rut where it's just nothing works. Nothing works, and then you have to, as a professional, do something to get yourself out of that rut. You have to consider what you're going to do. You have to be careful. You have to act strategically, okay? Because if you go to the club and get fucked up 2 nights in a row, that's not going to work. That's not going to work at all. What you might want to do is do some training if you're mentally fucked. This is why I balance gym and fighting with sitting on the computer all day doing this shit or similar stuff, right? Because when I'm mentally exhausted from this shit, I go to the gym, monkey mode, monkey time. I act like an ape lifting weights, right? Fight or whatever, right? The brain relaxes a little bit while you're squatting, while you're deadlifting, and the body relaxes while you're sitting at the computer. Maybe we can take these and we can use our loop tools here. Check this out, guys. Loop tool space. Just to clean this up a little more. Okay. There we go. I cannot leave it behind. I feel like something's still off. This is a little bit jagged. Let's investigate. Yeah, at the end of the day, guys, either you want to do something or you don't want to do it. Either you want to do it or you don't want to do it. You do what you want to do. If you don't feel like doing it, then don't do it, but that's not going to get you to where you want to be. Whatever it is that you're doing in life. Se javio Marin Mikolaj. Nije, lik prči. Neku klinku jebote. No, that was good. Ko ideš? Daj mi uzmi mlijeko. I neku, kak se zove, uzmi neku salamu, neku kobasu da možemo jesti večeras. Do you have ArtStation? Yeah, I got one, but I don't use it. It's old. How do you break the fabric of space-time and get the 3D model for the thumbnail before modeling it? Sometimes I don't upload the video before. Well, if you see the video, that means I went through the process and I finished it, so I can use that. But for this thumbnail, it's not the fucking final. It's not my render. It's from Google. I just look up Royce and I put that on the picture this time. So it depends on the situation. Earth is flat. I don't know. I don't think so, but I don't know. Nico. Play some cool music at the background. Yeah, but I'll get busted if I play music. Hold on. Hold on a second, guys. Ma da, možemo tako. Znači, sad bi ti uploadao samo ne znam koje treba uključiti, koje treba izbaciti, jer ima neke koje sam sjebao, pa treba isključiti, izbaciti. Mislim da ih sve stavim da ću skužiti sam. Znači nisam prošao kroz te sirove fajlove da znam koje treba staviti u kojem redu, a ako stavim možeš možda sam skužiti ako se da s tim jebat. Neću tebi to uvaljivati ako ti se ne da, ako nemaš s tim previše jebati, ali mislim da bi skužio, pa ono reci mi koliko imaš vremena volje. Nema ih previše, nema jako puno, ja mislim. Let's see, Hyperliquid. Okay. Where were we? How are you doing? It's been a long time. I'm doing great, thank you. How are you? Kako si naučio tako dobro pričati engleski? Bez akcenta, ne kontam, nije mi jasno. So, Sim Gangsta, reci mi odakle si ti, Sim Gangsta? Question was, how did you learn to speak English that so well, no accent or nothing? Which I guess is quite uncommon in my parts. Because although people here do speak very well, they do speak English very well, they always got an accent. Now, let me tell you something. When I speak English to Hungarians, for example, or Croats, well, I don't speak English to Croats, but if they hear me speak English to my friends, they think I'm an American because I sound like an American to them. I don't sound British, right? I sound a little bit more like an American to them. But when I speak to an American person and I tell them, hey, you know, they tell me that I sound American with my accent. Or when I speak to a Canadian person, they tell me, you sound Balkan as fuck. That's what they tell me. But the reason I speak good English is because I lived abroad my entire life. So I lived in a bunch of different countries, and I went to a bunch of English-speaking schools growing up. So my education, my conventional education, let's put it that way, because my real education came from somewhere else, not fucking school, but my conventional education was in English for most of my life. And most of my life was spent abroad in international environments, so I spoke in English to them. So I speak English probably better than I speak my own language. But I'm not sure. Maybe I don't. I don't know. I don't really give a fuck. I didn't test it. Guys, okay, fucking hell. Let's wrap this shit up already with this piece anyway. Loop tools, G-stretch. We gotta make sure that this is folding over nicely, because this has to be... Look how clean this has to be. Look how clean that gradient is. I don't think it's supposed to be curved, and mine is a little bit curved because I'm following my reference image. So let's try G-stretch. Loop tools, G-stretch, but spread, not spread evenly. Because when you do spread, guys, and this is the type of shit I break down in my masterclass course, guys. This is the type of shit that nobody talks about because everybody just wants to click on the video about the new fucking Blender 5.0 came out. Fuck 5.0, that's not gonna make you a better artist. Listen to this shit. When you use your G-stretch loop tool, you got an option. Do you want project? Do you want spread evenly? Or do you want spread? Okay. Hello, my favorite autistic. Yeah, hello. When you go spread evenly, it arranges all the geometry in the selected segment into a perfectly straight line, laser straight, and it makes all the edges equally long. Okay. But when you set it to spread, then it also arranges it into the same line, but it keeps their relative length. Okay, so for example, this one here is only, what, 10% of the entire segment, right? So if we do loop tools G-stretch spread instead of spread even, then it's still only 10% of the straight line. Okay? And then if we do project, now that's different. It doesn't work very well in this situation. So I can show you guys on the side, but I don't think it's relevant enough for us to do that. But that's the type of shit my masterclass course is all about, guys. So if you want to be educated by Arijan 3D about 3D modeling, check out the course. It's in the description. And I do crypto discounts as well. I came here to hear all the life lessons you can give. Yeah, listen. Guys, what I need is, if you want some life lessons, I need somebody to hop in here with a life dilemma, with some girl problems, or I don't know, insecurities, or whatever the fuck. You got troubles, you don't have any real friends, or that type of shit. I work based on situations, right? So if you guys give me a situation, I'll help you. Hello from Russia. Hello to Russia. I love Russia, man. I can't wait to go there. I wanted to go earlier this year, but something happened. Something got in my way. Or, well, not that something happened, but I made a decision to allocate my time and resources differently, and I'm very glad that I did that. But I still really want to go to fucking Russia, and I'm hoping to go there quite soon. Do you like being compared to Andrew Tate? Well, it's a hell of a compliment. Certainly, I don't really see myself as very similar to him at all, but I understand why people say that, I guess. Especially in the 3D world, where most people just sit on the computer all day. They don't see guys like me, right? Hello from Poland. Hey, I'm coming to Warsaw tomorrow. No, tomorrow I'm flying to Hungary. I'm not flying, but from Hungary I'm flying to Warsaw the day after. What the fuck were we gonna do, guys? Yeah, this here. Okay, so we made that straight. Video on Instagram without losing quality. Yeah, I should do that. It's been requested a lot. Should I quit school and focus on video editing? I feel like school is wasting my time. Make sure that you can make some money with it first. See how you can make some money with it if you already got an income with it, and you can see that you got more potential, more clients, and all this, which you cannot handle because of school, then yeah. But if you're not making no money, you'd be a fool to sacrifice something else in your life. Although, listen, for me, looking back, school is quite a waste of time in terms of education and career. I mean, I got a diploma. I could probably get a job with it somewhere, I guess. But if I wanted to get a job in that industry, I wouldn't go buy my diploma, sending that shit on LinkedIn. Fuck all that. I would go talking to people, calling people that I know, seeing who works where. I would use my personal network, right? And in that case, your diploma doesn't really matter that much, because if people know you, they know what you're capable of, they know your skills. What's more important is that you have some sort of proof of your work and abilities, because a diploma doesn't prove shit. A diploma means that you remembered something correctly and you got the right score on a piece of paper. That's not a fucking testimony of your abilities. It depends on the kind of diploma we're talking about, though. Maybe for law it's different. I don't know. It depends on what you're studying. What do you think about Croatia? Brate mili, Hrvatska je država koja, znači, ne bi se mijenio sa nikim, ne bi ništa drugo htio biti. I wouldn't be anything else other than Croatian, but the problem is they're fucking our country. So what we should do as Croats, I shouldn't be saying this because I'm gonna get locked up, but we should take pitchforks and rifles, and we should start a revolution in this country and just take over, start from scratch. That's what we should be doing. There should be a lot of violence, a lot of hanging in this country. That's when we're gonna make this a beautiful country, because all the heavy industry is gone. All our agriculture is all fucked up. We're importing stuff that we can produce here in infinite amounts. And everybody knows that we don't vote for the governments that we get. Nobody votes for these fucking people. It's all mafia controlled. It's all a fucking fraud. It's all a joke. It's just that nobody's really willing to sacrifice their freedom to do something about it. So until we are willing to do something about it, we can't really complain. There's no point complaining. So I don't really complain about it much. If I don't like it, I just leave. I spent most of my life living abroad. My life doesn't depend on the Croatian economy, so you know, my income streams coming from abroad. It's got nothing to do with Croatia. I don't give a shit about the Croatian economy for me personally, so for me it's fine. But that's because I recognize that it's basically a mafia state, mafia economy, as is any economy really. Every country is just run by the mafia who manage to convince people that they're the best ones. So I don't complain about it. That's just how I see the world operates, and I adjusted myself so that I wouldn't have to depend on this shit. Realno ceo Balkan bi trebao to da uradi, da. Yeah, every government is basically just mafia, guys. Criminal organizations which coerce you into paying taxes to them so that they can use it for as they best see fit. The people you vote for in government, they're not the people who are really in power. Everybody knows that. I think even 15-year-old kids today realize this because of the internet. Everybody understands this. So anybody who doesn't understand this, in my view, there's no point in talking about politics because democracy is just a joke. What the fuck? We don't have nothing to talk about. It's obviously a lie. On what planet would the people in power give you the power to choose? What the fuck? Why? That's ridiculous. It's all rigged. So elections are not a solution. Fuck elections. I don't bother wasting my time voting. I feel like an NPC if I go vote. Look at this shit, guys. So guys, what I would tell you is, if you're in a country where the economy is fucked, which is pretty much every country, if you're an American where it's the most powerful economy in the world, yeah, great, okay. You got a powerful economy, but your money gets sent to Ukraine. Well, not anymore, but your money gets sent to fucking bombing children down in the Gaza Strip. Everybody knows that that's where your taxes go. Your money gets sent to fucking synagogues and settlers who don't do anything. They live off of your money. So you'd be foolish to not do something about it or not change your life if this is something that bothers you. If it's okay for you to donate, I don't know, 2/3 of your hard-earned money to some people who fucking hate you, then you keep doing that. But if I was in your shoes, I would find a way around that shit. I'm not saying you should commit tax fraud, but just find a way around it. Are you socialist? You know what I think? Socialism, in the sense that it's where you have people pooling resources together. There's no private ownership. There's no, everything is common. Communism, everything is communal. That works well within families and small communities. So in my family, for example, with my brother, with my fucking any female that I'm associated with, assuming that she's somebody who I could very much trust, my parents and stuff like that, my cousins and stuff like that, we don't see it as, okay, I have to sell you a service in exchange for money. There's no capitalism within family for us. It's very much communist. If I got a car, you can take that shit. If you got an apartment, we can stay here together, whatever. Everything is common, right? If I got a shirt and you don't got one because yours broke, here, it's yours, take it, whatever, right? If I got a computer, you can use it whenever you want, right? It's basically for everybody. And everything we buy it together with our collective money. That works very well on a small scale. On the scale of an entire country, it doesn't work well because now I got to share stuff with somebody who I don't know. I don't know if I can trust them. I don't know if they're an honorable person. I don't know if they will return the favor. I don't know if they will use my resources correctly. So that doesn't work too well, does it? That's why it always inevitably fails. Well, arguably. But that's, of course, if my understanding of socialism is correct. And then you got the nuances, socialism, communism, Marxism, Leninism, and all this shit. That's a whole different subject, but loosely, I think you guys understand what I'm talking about. So within a larger society, capitalism works quite well, I think. This point is supposed to be sharper, isn't it? Look, this is where we're being cheated. This black area here is supposed to be sharper. Guys, I was 17 years old when I was first labeled as an anti-Semitic conspiracy theorist. Now, at this time, I didn't even know what anti-Semitism means. My teacher started talking about anti-Semitism. I didn't realize at the time that it was because of some of the things I was talking about. I raised my hand and asked him, what's anti-Semitism? And he explained it to me. I was like, okay. Now I get it. Now I get it. And then at the time, I didn't understand, but now I realize why the things that I genuinely was just trying to talk about, because I heard this somewhere, he just called me a fucking anti-Semitic conspiracy theorist. Well, okay, that's how you make somebody who's just curious, a curious boy, into a fucking radical. And it worked phenomenally well. Here we are, 8 years later. Because if I want to talk about something, if I want to learn something out of genuine childish curiosity and interest and desire for knowledge, and you label me as something terrible, okay, well then you're my enemy. Then you're a piece of shit. Then that means you're hiding something. That means you're lying about something, right? Obviously. What the fuck? Why couldn't you talk to me about it, and logically try to have a conversation with me about it? But these people don't have conversations with you, unfortunately, and it's just, you're this, you're that. You know what Professor Mearsheimer said? And a million people before him, certainly. If they can't beat you with facts and logic, they will smear you. They will smear your name. That's how it goes. I'm dramatizing it a little bit. It wasn't that serious. It was just an interesting experience. Guys, okay, that's enough of this shit. Let's move on to something else. I want to make this central area. Guys, what car would suit Arijan better than any? What would be the perfect car for Arijan to pull up in? Let's say we're going to the club together, all of us. We're going to play some good music together. We're going to hang out. We're going to get a fucking bar to ourselves, a fucking house party. We're all doing a house party. Arijan's in charge. What car does he have to pull up in? What would be the best car for Arijan to pull up in? Somatic. What's the problem? The problem is the juice bottle are not even somatic. Yeah, that's what I heard too. Well, I mean, it's not that I heard. It's fucking cleared. People came from Poland and Ukraine and all this, Belarus. By the way, have you heard that there are some settlers now in Ukraine? And arguably, this is why the entire war was started by the West. This is what people don't see, that this war was started by the West. It was provoked by the West. And as you know, the West is entirely controlled by a certain group of people. Anyway, food for thought. But that's what my documentary is going to be about, guys, by the way. My little animated documentary. Okay, give me front view just to make sure that this curve here is nice. It isn't. I want it to be sharper. Fiat Multipla. What a beautiful car that is. I think this is supposed to be a sharp turn downwards, which would mean that we need some more geometry. Hey, can we do that? Yeah, it looks like we should be able to get away with that. Because this loop is not going to cut into the wheel. Hold on. Finish my beer. Guys, if you have vices, let me give you some life advice for you. Arijan indulges in a lot of, not indulges, but Arijan engages in a lot of things which are haram in Islam, or are considered to be very addictive, or bad for you mainly because they're very addictive, right? But Arijan is not an addict. You can enjoy things in life which are supposed to be very addictive. You can enjoy them without getting hooked on them, and then they're going to add to your life rather than taking away from your life. So if somebody tells you that's a slippery slope which is going to ruin your life, that shows you that that person has no control over themselves. I'm not talking about heroin, guys, or meth, all right? Let's narrow it. Let's talk about nicotine, for example. Nicotine is a beautiful thing. It's very addictive. So the problem is that people use this stuff and, hey, look, even better. People use this stuff and they're not aware that this is extremely addictive, or they just ignore that part for whatever fucking reason, and then they ruin their lives with it. Smoking their whole life, fucking up their health, smelling like an ashtray, or nicotine in other forms. It's just, busting the bank with this shit while living a miserable life. What you do is you keep it under control. You set yourself a routine. For example, you can only consume nicotine or alcohol in certain situations. You Google it. What's a healthy amount which isn't going to be toxic for your body? Generally, alcohol, for example, is not is not statistically doesn't statistically greatly increase your chances of illnesses of all sorts and addiction and chronic diseases and shit like that if you consume up to 2 drinks per day, let's say, for adult males. That's what Google will tell you. Now that is still quite high, so I personally wouldn't go for that, but if you average, let's say, 1 drink per day, you'll be fine as long as you stay within your set limit. And if you realize that you're going beyond that, that's when you gotta notice that shit. You gotta have the discipline and self-awareness to notice that and put some brakes on it. If you don't put the brakes on it at that point, then you're just a fucking idiot, and that will be the downfall of you. So you're just stupid at that point. And most people are stupid, unfortunately, so they fall. This is where they fail, and this is why things like, I don't know, weed get a bad reputation, because of people who can't control themselves, because of people who, oh, it's just weed, it's not addictive. Yeah, motherfucker, it's addictive, because now you're smoking weed all day long, playing video games. That's all you do, play video games and watch porn. You always smell like fucking weed. You spend all your money on weed. You're lazy, you're weird, you're socially awkward, you're fucking out of shape. You sleep all the fucking day. You're all slow and miserable and useless in life, generally speaking, because you're not productive if you're always stoned. Most people aren't. So people have no control, and that's why these substances become bad for you. So if you want to enjoy substances, make sure that you can control that shit. Make sure that you can organize your life in a way that doesn't lead to fucking addiction, but it only adds to your life under certain circumstances. For example, if you drink or do drugs to suppress a feeling because you're sad or you're stressed out or whatever, you're heartbroken, that's when you got a big fucking problem boiling in the pot. If you only drink it when you're celebrating something or when you're having a positive experience, this is what I always say on my live streams. And by the way, look, can we do that? We could join these two together. What are we doing, guys? And then dissolve these. No, but the problem is we have to keep this part a little bit tight. Yeah, guys, just that's just a little word of advice from me. What I've noticed is that nobody really knows how to do things. We grew up thinking that adults know how to do it, so you should listen to adults. Most people, you can see them, you don't want to be like them. You don't want to be like them, so their ways of doing things. Mixing alcohol will get you extra fucking drunk. That is the biggest bullshit ever. I am a therapist, guys. By the way, if you want a therapy session with Arijan, you can book a session with me. I do some therapy sometimes. I'm not kidding. You can book a consultation here with me. Okay, look. We can have a chat. There's a link in the description. I know it looks sketchy as fuck, but don't worry, it's legit. It's just my my website that my brother made. You can get it there. I'll also put it in the description for somebody who might be watching later. If you want some therapy with Arijan, book a therapy session with Arijan. Here you go. And just to show you guys that it's not a fucking scam, because it looks like a pretty shady link. Here, let me open it up for you on the browser. So, Control V, you can see that this is the link that I sent in the chat. When you hit enter, it takes you to this fucking calendar, and that's all it is. It doesn't fucking download nothing, so it's not a fraud, okay? And then we can get a time together and we can talk about whatever you want to talk about. No joke, guys. I'm actually a therapist and I'm quite good at it. And I'm not certified, obviously. Who the fuck would give me a certificate? But I am an amateur therapist, let's say, and I've helped a lot of people, if I may say so myself. But if you guys want, we can do some therapy right now. Give me somebody who's who needs some therapy, guys. Who's having troubles? Come on, be honest. Get a different account or log out or be anonymous if you're nervous about it. Just come on, give us some. Let's talk about some therapy if we have to. And by the way, if I can't help you in your situation, I'm just gonna tell you that, and we're not gonna fucking, and I'm not gonna charge you for a session with me if I really don't know what to tell you, if I really can't help you. So Look, we have to make this tighter. Fucking hell. Guys, let me ask you a question in the chat. Do you think that an 18-year-old is an adult? Or maybe we should even rephrase that question. Do you think, and this is just food for thought, guys, that I'm giving you. Do you think that I'm having troubles? Tell me what's happening. Do you think that age is a generally good reflection of maturity? Maybe a little bit softer. This still looks a little odd here. That's because we fucked it up. See, this is what takes the most time when it comes to this 3D modeling shit. Look, turns out we totally fucked it up. It's supposed to be like this, and like this, and like this. That's a little better, okay? But yeah, 18 years is legal age, so at 18 years old, you're presumed to be mature enough to responsibly handle some of life's challenges, such as alcohol, such as firearms, right? Can you get firearms at 18 in the States? There was somebody from Switzerland, I think in Switzerland, firearms are also legal. Man, look how bad we fucked this up. Bear with me, guys. This is a real pain in the ass for me too. Fucking hell. Look. We want to keep this quite straight if we can. Yeah, but the problem is if you look at your average 18-year-old, man, they're allowed to vote. Most people, regardless of age, should not, assuming that democracy was actually a real thing. Most people don't have the knowledge or the wisdom or the understanding of politics which would qualify them to make such an important decision, right? Because most people they don't educate themselves on the subject ever. They just kind of, read an article from time to time in the news, and they consider themselves, I drank all my beer and now I have a new sip. And all of a sudden they see themselves fit to have an opinion on this shit when it's really complicated and you really gotta spend a lot of time educating yourself on this stuff. That's actually a very good idea. Livestream plus therapy. Dude, I don't want to tag him. When you type in plus in your title and then you start typing, whatever word you're using, it's like using the @ thing on Instagram. It starts bringing up other people. So it's like you're gonna tag somebody. Hey, listen, man, I don't tolerate this shit. Put user in timeout. Let's give him 5 minutes. Monarchy was a great system. Yeah, monarchy is great, but only if Arijan is in charge. Only if I'm in charge. For me, that's the best way. For you, it's probably better if you're in charge. Or maybe not. You know what Aristotle said, guys? Aristotle said in his beautiful, this book right here. This book right here, look. Ne. Are you sure you wish to exit? No, I don't want to. I almost shut down my recorder, guys. I almost fucked up the entire stream. Hold on. Look. Aristotle's Politics. In this book, he talks about slavery. He says that slavery is a natural... You guys saw my book, right? Okay, so the filter was disabled. He says that slavery is a natural relationship between people who are sophisticated enough to be leaders, to have initiative, to know how to make decisions properly about life and anything, and people who don't, they don't have the so, what the fuck is the word I'm looking for? Soft, who don't have the complexity mentally, intellectually, to be leaders or to make their own decisions. They just like, they're like basically like children in grown bodies. They're better off just having somebody tell them what to do, and they work better that way, which is in fact a very large portion of society, probably the vast majority. I don't remember what Aristotle said. So no. So the idea is, yeah, but the krok. Sorry, I shouldn't be saying that as a Christian. Forgive me, guys. So this doesn't mean that as a slave owner, let's say Arijan is clearly a very good leader, clearly very intelligent, has great initiative, right? If it's very kind and caring, you know, he makes a good leader. He's somebody who's willing to take the fucking heat and to step up, to raise his hand, to make a change, to improve something, right? He's thinking about his society and making progress, right? And somebody else really isn't that way. And all of us know people of both types, right? I do. I know people of both kinds, who are my kind and the other kind. If Arijan has 200 slaves, for example, he has a big company, he's a big businessman, he's got 200 slaves. Some of you guys, let's say from the chat, because you know me, you trust me. What that means is, not that I'm beating you, telling you, okay, slave, give me a fucking foot massage. I spit on your sister. That's not what slavery means. Slavery means that you are my property, which means I provide you with food and shelter. I give you everything you need. I give you decent living. You have to do some work, which is for my business. Basically, you're employed at me, at my company, except I don't give you a salary, which you can spend as you wish. I give you food, I give you shelter, probably I give you something, whatever you need to live a decent life, but you listen to me, and I tell you what to do, because you know, you trust me that, you know, I can make the right decision. Now, I don't know what Aristotle says about whether you have a choice in this stuff or not, whether you have the freedom to decide, I don't want to be your slave anymore, I want to leave, and you can go, or whether you legally belong to me to where I'm allowed to kill you if you want to leave. I don't know about that. That's a part of the subject where we go a little bit deeper. So I haven't thought that through all the way yet, but because I'm not sure if those people who are slaves, if they have the right to be disobedient, because the poor bastard doesn't even know that he's fucking stupid, right? And that he's gonna ruin his life unless he has somebody guiding him, leading him, telling him what to do, right? So the poor bastard thinks, oh, I should have my freedom, I should have the right, I should have a say in this shit. No, fuck you, because then you're gonna end up shooting somebody on the bus because you're high on drugs, because that's what you wanted to do, you wanted your freedom. Well, if you're a fucking idiot, you shouldn't have your freedom, should you, right? You should be a slave to Arijan. That's my take on slavery. I don't know how we got to the subject, but there it is. Haven't found. I don't know if people agree with me on this stuff. I don't know if people agree with me on the subject of slavery, but I guess we'll see now. We're gonna see how many. What happens is, if you see the number of viewers drop suddenly when I say something like this, then you see that people don't like this shit, and probably gonna see a Reddit post come up about Arijan again. But that's how we can gauge whether this shit works, whether this is a good take or not, according to the viewers anyway, who are most of them probably slaves, the slave type. Hey, look, it's no good. No, it is good. Hold on a second. It just has to be a little softer. If we do this, that's pretty good. And then this, look at this. So we lined it up well from front view, but that means we twisted it from, you see what I mean? We twisted it from the other perspective. So we have to pull it back and forth a little bit. That's the problem. And this doesn't align properly. We have to pull it backwards, so we can pull this back a little. See how much time we spent on this part already, guys? This is where it becomes a real fucking headache, because you don't want to have a lot of twisting. Guys, can you imagine Arijan having a podcast? I would love that, but I wouldn't be able to take it seriously. And unless you take it seriously, you're not gonna make it in that business. And I'm not really willing to take it seriously. I would just do it as something for fun, just to hang out with some interesting people and have some good conversations. But an Arijan podcast would be great, wouldn't it? It'd probably get cancelled day one. You know, guys, Thomas Collin and Arijan, your two favorite Blender YouTubers, they'd make a great fucking podcast, but we wouldn't talk about 3D modeling. We'd probably spend 5 minutes talking about 3D modeling just so we can justify the title. But then we would talk about, oh man, that would be a good conversation. We'd be talking about Islam versus Christianity. We'd be talking about refugees in Europe, the economy, the chosen people. We'd be talking about investments, gold, crypto, stocks, property, stuff like that. We'd be talking about a little bit of agriculture. You know, Arijan and Thomas Collin are both, to a degree, into agriculture. I bet you guys didn't know this shit. I bet you didn't know this shit at all. Podcast with Thomas Collin would be great. Yeah, the space loop tools function is one of the most useful ones. It's one of the most important ones. Oh man, fuck me. What have we done? You know what? I feel like I just want to take this entire surface and use the loop tools flatten tool. Which makes it flat. You see that? It makes it flat. And now it's one plane which can be easily controlled. Select loops, boundary loop, mark seams, and now we know this is a flat plane. So if we use that as a pivot point, now we can rotate that plane into position as we see fit. So front view, side view, fucked up. But as long as we slide these vertices, now we know that they're staying on the plane. Is there any other guys? Is there any other Blender YouTuber who would work well in an Arijan podcast? Is there any other Blender guy on YouTube who you think might get along well with Arijan on a podcast about these type of things? Who could handle the pressure if I asked him, so what do you think about 9/11? Or, you know, Treblinka? Guys, you know what we can do? How many people can we fit into an Instagram group, like a group chat? So we can send memes. Can somebody Google that? Is there like a limit if we can do like 200 people so we can drop some memes? Oh man. Yeah, we probably get banned though. If we can send reels. Yeah, we'd probably get banned because it's public, so someone's gonna rat on us. That's the problem. Because I got some fucked up GCs, but they're private, so nobody knows about them. So nobody can, you know, nobody can get me in. Nobody can really. I mean, it's not like there's anything illegal going on in there, of course. If you guys want to talk crime, you never do it over the internet. Don't incriminate yourself online. I have this one guy who sends me the craziest fucking reels on Instagram. I always mention him. Shout out to Mr. Cannon. Man, I had enough of this shit already. Come on. I'm getting hungry over here. Hey guys, anybody ever been to jail, prison? Anybody ever been locked up here? 250 members. Oh man, that would be an exclusive fucking experience. 250 members. Hey, I'm not giving you my room tour. What are you trying to mug me, motherfucker? Maybe I'll give you a room tour. Probably not in this room because I don't want to compromise what's in it. Not there's anything. I think I can probably give you a room tour. What I might be able to do is, listen, I move around all the time. So if you guys follow me for a while, probably you've seen it every 6 months. Do you know Gypsy Crusader? Yeah, fuck yeah, I know Gypsy Crusader. Paul Miller, shout out Paul Miller, guys. I wish I could have a chat with that guy. I've heard his entire story. I know exactly what the guy's been through, and I understand it completely. I used to think he was just a fucking madman, a maniac who's just fucking racist. I heard his story, and I understand him completely. But if you guys follow my shit for a while, you know that I'm in a different location all the time. I'm always in a different fucking city, in a different place. One day I'm living here, and the next day I'm living over there. So I could give you room tours and that type of shit, but not on live stream. I gotta think of a good platform where I can do this stuff. My problem is that Rumble doesn't really. There's no way I could. But maybe, you know what? Maybe I could do it if it's just like a niche thing. Just for people that I source from the live streams. That could work quite well. Just so you guys can see what I'm up to. I think you guys would like my life quite well. And by the way, this is supposed to blend in, so it's supposed to be smooth, right? It's supposed to be... From top view, it's a little bit crooked, but we can get that later. I didn't use the grid fill tool like I wanted to. I mentioned to you earlier, when working on this part, that I'm going to show you something really important. I didn't do that because I didn't end up using that tool. Yeah, room tours. What the fuck was I talking about? I lost my train of thought, guys. As you would imagine, this live stream stuff makes it quite easy to lose your train of thought because I'm trying to have 3 conversations at the same time while doing hardcore hard surface modeling. So hopefully this is a testament to my brain power. So you guys can admire my intelligence. It's God-given. It's something that you mostly get by genes, by your genes, because my father is a very intelligent guy. That's where I got it from. So if your dad's dumb, that's tough shit, man. I think the worst thing that can happen to a man is to be dumb, to be stupid. And the problem is that if you're stupid, you don't know it. See, like me, for example, if I'm stupid, maybe I'm fucking dumb. And I don't know it. Maybe it's like the Truman Show thing, you know, where I think I'm doing all this stuff, it's legit, but actually there's people laughing at my monkey ass over here. Seems like I have too much geometry to adjust manually, yeah. Over here, yeah, but we can't really remove much of it at this point. You know, because if we start dissolving these here, which we could get away with, then we get into the business of redistributing our geometry, which means we also got to get rid of some of these edge segments here, which we cannot do because we need them. So the geometry stays as it is. It's a right number. No, what I'm doing now is just roughly trying to get the shape right, and then we're going to use our loop tools to line everything up. See, for example, this here is supposed to be G-stretch, but lock the Y and lock the Z. Let's look at that from front view as well, just make sure it's a decent curve, and it is. And now, what we can do is this. We can take these segments and we can start to relax them, perhaps. These in the back, we can even space them. Maybe we can space all of them. Let's see what happens. No, that's not going to work. But what about relax? Too much. Too much. These here, we can definitely... we can definitely loop tools space, loop tools relax. I feel like I need more hands to do this quicker. Kılıçok, gloop on ne zaten gloop. There's a guy asking a therapy question. Where? Can you turn the mic volume up? No. No, I can't. Guys, if you got a therapy question, tag me with the @Arijan thing, because there's a million messages and I don't look at them all the time. Where's the therapy question? If it's a good question, we can talk about it. Why does it matter what's in your room? Oh, believe me, my friend, it matters. Do you know Gypsy Crusader? Yeah, okay, so hey, listen, send me a link to his Telegram because I tried to find it, but I couldn't find one. So I thought they were just taking him down all the time. But send me a link to his Telegram on Discord if you can, please, or on Instagram or whatever. Just shoot me a message or LinkedIn, whatever the fuck. On Discord, just tag me and send me a Telegram link or DM me or something. I don't know if you can do it publicly. I don't know how it works, but just help me. I want to see it. I would like to join it. Tell him. Does he do lives where he chats with people like this? That'd be great. But I've seen his podcasts with Jake Shields and stuff like that. So this guy's he's got quite a bit of exposure. I remember watching him back in like I want to say 2018 or something. I don't know if he was around in those years. I remember we were like still in high school. I don't know when he started. Maybe I'm mixing things up. When did this guy first come around and started doing the live streams, the iconic fucking live streams? We were watching this shit back in the day. It was fucking great. It was incredible. And then he got busted. He got locked up for the firearm thing. I heard the whole story, but he got locked up. He did time, and then he came out a couple of years later. I'm not sure about the timeline of how this happened, but anyway. I think he's a very, very smart guy. As you said, he's very, very based. I don't agree with him on everything that he says, but I think that he's no fool. That's for sure. He's no fool. Not the way people see him as. People see the way he puts on the fucking show, and they think, okay, this person's got to be fucking nuts, which is what I thought, to be honest with you. Arijan, what would you do stuck in a situation in life? Not materialistic, but with people where either way of decision makes you bad in people's perspective and you must choose, and both choices fuck you. If I understood correctly, your question is... Hello, Marius. Your question is... Hey, Marius, are you the Marius that I know, or are you another Marius? Are you the Marius from The Hague, or are you a different Marius? What would you do? So if I understand correctly, the question is, either way that you live your life, there's going to be people who fucking hate you and they're going to give you trouble. They're going to reject you. So what the fuck do you do? If I understood correctly, that's the question. Excuse me, the sentence is a little bit fucked up. Now let's do this. I'm going to take a piss. Meantime, I'll think about the question. Hopefully I got it right. So I'll be right back. Let me turn this shit on so you guys can see where we're at. All right. Is his name Arijan? It's the latter. Arijan. I don't think I'm the one you know, Arijan. We had talked a bit in another stream. Okay, yeah, because I have a friend named Marius, but I can't remember his last name for the life of me. Listen. The question was, hope your incredible stream won't end like that guy's stream ended. I don't know what you mean about whose stream got ended up. Stop the modeling and let's talk some shit about live. No, don't worry. Listen. The question was, let me just see if this guy confirmed whether I understood the question correctly. He didn't say anything. So, you're stuck in a situation in life. From people's perspective, no matter what you do, you're going to be a bad person. So you said that and you got that right. No matter what you do, there's going to be people who dislike you. Why is that? Because everybody's different. Everybody's different. Okay? There's no two people in this world who are the same. So somebody like you guys, for example, you might really like the shit that I'm doing over here. You like my fucking humor. You like the things that I'm saying. You don't see me as a fucking terrible person, right? I'm just a dude says a bunch of crazy shit from time to time, but you know, you enjoy watching my content. You don't think I'm a bad person, right? Otherwise you wouldn't be here. There's people who fucking despise me, who think I'm the biggest piece of shit in the world, who think I shouldn't have a platform, I shouldn't be allowed to talk, I'm a fucking animal, you know? There's people who think that I shouldn't have my freedom, right? There's people who believe that. So what I've put together is, and listen, I'm the kind of guy who was brought up to try and be super polite, to be decent, to be very respectful. This is the way my mom and dad raised me, to be respectful and polite towards everybody, regardless of the circumstances. And when I was younger, I was a lot more timid, let's say. When I was a little teenager, let's say, I was a lot more timid. I wasn't the way I am now, or I'll just fucking say it. So, hey, I don't speak whatever you just said down there. But the fuck was I gonna say? So yeah, I wasn't the kind of guy who was gonna speak my mind openly because I was afraid of the repercussions, right? If somebody doesn't like me, there's gonna be a problem, right? And I want to be liked. I don't want to offend nobody. I don't want to, I don't want to be the bad guy. I don't want to be the enemy. I want to be nice and kind, and I want to get along with everybody. And then, no matter how hard I tried, at some point I realized this. At some point, it just clicked. No matter how hard I tried, there's gonna be people who fucking hate you. No matter how polite you are. Hold on. So, this today, I'm just looking for a different shirt. This today is the reason why Arijan is the guy that he is today. Because now, it's like, no matter what you do, they're gonna fucking hate you. So I might as well say what I think about 9/11. I might as well say what I think about these people or those people. I might as well say fuck if I want to say fuck. If I think you're a piece of shit, I'll tell you you're a piece of shit. And if you want to fight me, okay, let's fight. So that's kind of, and also lifting weights helps. I look small in this fucking, hold on. Lifting weights helps, learning to fight helps, because then if somebody doesn't like what you say and they want to confront you, they're not going to fight you because they can tell that you can. Shit, that's my brother's shirt. It stinks like him. If you lift some weights, if you pump some iron, then you're not afraid of confrontation anymore. And as a result, you just stop caring too much. It stops bothering you. Okay? For example, if you look at nature videos, in the savannah, who's chilling? It's the fucking lions, it's the tigers, or whatever, the big guys, the rhinos. They don't give a fuck. They're just chilling, wagging their tails, sunbathing, because they don't give a fuck, because nobody can fuck with them, right? It's a metaphor, by the way. I'm not trying to sit here and act like nobody. You can just come by and shoot me in the head, and what can I do? It doesn't matter how much I lift. I'm well aware of that, but in general, people are much less likely to give you problems for who you are if you are the kind of guy who's able to physically defend yourself. So do that, and then you're just gonna stop giving a fuck. If you look at nature videos, National Geographic, it's the fucking rabbits and the squirrels that always, chilling around. They're not chilling, they're on the tree fucking tense, and that's what their head movements look like. The tiger's just sitting there. Like, yeah, what? He's licking his balls out in the sun. He doesn't give a fuck. So be more like the tiger. Be more like the lion. And then it doesn't matter. Like, what the fuck do I care if some pussy on Twitter says, or Reddit says, Arijan's a piece of shit. Arijan's a fucking thug, whatever. I don't give a fuck, man. What are you gonna do about it? I mean, maybe you'll come shoot me in the head. Maybe. I can't stop you. So if you want to shoot me, come shoot me, I guess. But, for the most part, no one's gonna do nothing. Most people are not really... They talk a big talk, but they're not willing to confront you if they don't like you. They're just gonna talk because they can see that nothing's gonna happen to them if they talk. But when you put on some muscle, when you put on some hands, all of a sudden nobody ever gets in your face anymore. Nobody ever disrespects you again. Nobody ever bullies you. Nobody tries to fuck with you anymore because, well, it's quite clear. It's quite clear that you can handle yourself when you're out in public, when you're out among people, whatever the case may be. So, start shooting up some steroids. I'm kidding, don't do that. And yeah, no matter what you do, you're gonna have people giving you a hard time sometimes. And just understand that that's okay. And embrace it, because maybe somebody's got something good to tell you. Maybe somebody's got a... Don't be afraid of it. What are you afraid of? What for? I think maybe we can still join this down here, but... Because we have this poll right here, which is not very good. Show me your body, please, dude. Please, what the fuck? If you wouldn't have framed it that way, if that sounds like you're a fucking faggot now. Rephrase that shit, and I might do it. Arijan, let's see the gym progress. Arijan, show us the physique. That sounds less gay. Try that. Fucking hell. That doesn't sound like you want to fuck me. Yeah, this is what happens when you go live. But yeah, I think I'm not a very private person. I'm not afraid to. I generally share things about myself quite openly. For example, if you ask me if I ever smoked crack, I'll tell you the answer. I'll tell you the truth. If you ask me if I ever did coke, I'll tell you the truth, right? I'll tell you. I won't lie to you. If I ever fucking... Now, if I shot somebody, I wouldn't tell you that. Because that would be foolish. But, unless it was in war or something where I'm not going to be incriminated by that or something like that. Yeah, guys, listen, make sure you join the Discord so that we can stay in touch there. You can ask me a question. We can do some therapy from time to time. You'll see what's happening with me when I get banned. Not if I get banned, but when I get banned. For saying Jew too many times or for dropping the hard R on my stream like I did. Have you ever smoked crack? No, I haven't. Bro, come to Dagestan. Yeah, I would love to. I would love to go to Dagestan. Have you ever took any crack, coke, ket? Coke, yes, but not crack and ket. Crack and coke, to my understanding, is basically the same shit. Ketamine, it doesn't sound appealing to me. I don't know. I've heard about it, but it doesn't sound appealing to me very much. I mean, I know what it is. I know what happens. I got quite a bit of. I've been around the block. Let's put it that way. I'm not a Turk, man. Tell you kids' favorite cartoon. You gotta rephrase that shit. Tell you kids' favorite cartoon. Who kids? When I was a kid, my favorite cartoon was... I remember I watched a lot of Ben 10. Tom and Jerry, I love that shit. I watched Cartoon Network when I was a little kid. Psychedelics, yeah, I love psychedelics. I think are a great. I think the world would be a better place if everybody, at least if all the sane people had a psychedelic experience, if people were aware of the existence of the place where psychedelics take you. Let's put it that way. A good documentary, Europa Last Battle. Europa Last Battle. Europa the Last Battle. I won't drop in the links, you guys will find it. You are 100% Turk. No, I'm not. I'm 100% Croatian. I know I look Turkish, but as far as I know, that of my family history, I'm not gonna do the Jewish testing thing, but as far as I know, it's all Croats. I got a little bit of Slovenian, so I'm white as fuck, but there might be. I should do the DNA test things just so I can humble myself if need be, but Pornhub. Don't watch porn, guys. If you want to see some titties, go get your girlfriend. And if you want to bang one out, ask her to send you some fucking pictures. If you gotta bang one out, don't look at porn, or it's gonna fuck you up. And if you don't like her pictures, get a different girlfriend. If you can't get a different girlfriend, get your shit together and then get a better girlfriend. In Russia, we have Eon Guy. I don't know who that is. I hope it's not one of those guys that totally lost his fucking mind, because that's a retard probably. But I don't know if this guy is. I have no idea who he is. Because some people, you'll see them, they got totally fucking fried because they're stupid and they're mentally deranged already, and they just ruin their lives with drugs. So that's not a good. That's when people completely fuck themselves up with this stuff because they don't know how to use it correctly, because it's dangerous if not done properly. Thank you for the tutorials. My pleasure. Thank you for the compliments. Do you gym every day? No. Guys, I bit my fucking tongue. Let's do some more modeling. Let's take this back. Let's do a little bit more modeling until another good subject comes by. Yeah, listen. Guys, tell a Gypsy Crusader that he would love the white parts of Europe, the pure parts of Europe. I'm really blessed because Eastern Europe is currently the best place in the world because it's still Western civilization. It still has Western values in terms of, Christianity, capitalism. Okay. The things that make us great. We're the most sophisticated civilization that's ever existed. We are still definitely Western civilization, right? But we're not so far down that path that we reach the degeneracy phase, okay? If you walk around my country, you won't see no fag flag. You won't see no rainbows or fucking, you know, those fucking people you can't even tell what gender they are. There's none of that shit around here. You can say faggot out on the street. You can say better. You can call anybody a faggot. It's fine. You can say the hard R at any time of the day. It's cool. There's no one that gives a fuck. There's a black guy. He's like, yeah, what's up, my nigga? Can I say that, my nigga? I think they maybe took me down for the hard R as well, but I think nigga should be okay. If I go up to a black guy and say, what's up, my nigga? He's not gonna be fucking mad. It's not like you're the biggest piece of shit that's ever lived, like in America. Over here, nobody gives a fuck if you say hard R on the street. Everybody says hard R, and it's cool. It's peaceful. It's nice. Everybody's polite. Everybody's civilized. Everybody's intelligent. Everybody's decent. The girls are very decent. The boys are all very tough and masculine for the most part. The men, people are old school. So I'm very blessed to be in this part of the world where we have this stuff, and it's still very good. But I think, I don't know if you guys are into geopolitics, but NATO is basically in the process of collapsing right now. Depends on how you want to analyze it, but that's in the process of collapsing. Naturally, the European Union will follow. Couple of years tops. Anyway, it's not gonna look the way it looks now for a very long time. It's not gonna work out. What do you say about YouTube's AI for age identification? I don't know anything about that. I don't have Mongolian eyes. Maybe I do, but listen, the Croatian people, I think they have Persian roots. We have Persian origins. Although we came from the northern part of Europe, actually the same place where the Jews came to Israel from. Galicia. Neću. Jesu iz Galicije došli Hrvati, molim? Galicia, that's where the white Croats came from. We migrated down south, but kažu da imamo perzijsko korijenje. Da. We came from Persia. Yeah, okay, so we're like Iranian. Okay, Persia, yeah. Which is why, perhaps, that's why I look fucking Persian. If I didn't know you from YouTube and I saw you on the roads of Athens, I would think you're Greek. That's great. Look at you guys. Fucking, how about I send you a blood sample? You guys can figure it out. Breaking my shit down in chat. Are you from Denmark? No. But I lived in Denmark. Change the name to Jordan Peterson 3D. Why? Come on, don't tell me I got anything in common with fucking Jordan Peterson.
Juden Peterstein.
Huh?
Juden Peterstein.
Juden Peterstein. Okay. So, if you guys need some more therapy, just let me know. I need another beer, man. Give me a fucking beer. Marin! Hold on. I got Vikia Romana. I got fucking cognac. I don't got beer in the house. I got gin. I got rakia. Yeah, if somebody needs some more therapy, guys, hit me. Let's go. Let's see what we can do. So this is supposed to turn into a bump. It's a little bit too high perhaps, but oh yeah, we were gonna do this thing in the front here. Let's just make sure that this curve here is nice and pretty. Maybe this is supposed to be a little bit. Oh man, we fucked up again, didn't we? No, it's all right. Let's do one final test here. Slide that back. We can push that out a little more. It's not completely straight, but it won't be a problem, I think. Let's see what it looks like if we extrude a surface. This is how we can evaluate the curve. If we extrude it, object shade flat. Yeah, see how the light doesn't really move in a uniform manner, so you probably want this to be a little bit softer, which means you want to slide this inwards just a little bit. So now when we align this edge segment with that edge, now that's a little bit less intense. And see, now this here is questionable, so that means we also got to take this a little bit further in. That's better. Let's look at the front profile again, because we might have just made that a little jagged. I think we're all right. Okay. Okay. We could do loop tool space here, maybe. Loop tool space. It slightly changes the curve up at the top, so let's exclude that segment. Let's do these. And then again, we take this, extrude it out. We separate it, and now when we space this out, you might want to slide this around just to make it a little nicer, a little better. But this can be used for the frontal surface. Getting into this stuff is hard. We had 233 people at the peak of this live stream, I think. I think that might be a new record. But I'm not sure what my highest was. So this thing, look, there's like a panel in the front, and then it curves upwards. Let's look at it from the side. I think maybe it'd be a better idea to shade flat to. I need another picture, because see how it's like it's in front of this, so it's supposed to be sort of like this, or almost like it's inflated, right? Alt S. Alt S. And of course we're gonna have to use this here as a control point as well, so we can extrude that, align it there. Except then we have to be careful, because it starts to expand rapidly. Let's see that from the front. Okay, that seems to be fine. And now the problem is, well, we gotta push that backwards like this, right? But this is the top. Hold on. Let's do this extrusion thing again. Ah, yeah, botte. Let's do this again. So we have this now, and then we're just gonna make it a little bit thicker. And we extrude it. We don't just inflate it, because we want to keep these vertices back there. We just want to inflate it a little bit. Yeah, botte. Now what's happening over here? I understand. Let's get rid of this. And then extrude it and align it there. Okay. We don't need the faces in the back. They're just bothering us. What's the most fun video you've ever created? Making 3D modeling videos is not very fun. It's really difficult when you want to explain these things. Some of them are very complicated. You want to explain them clearly in a time efficient way, so you're on a time constraint and you're gonna have to cut that shit up later on. And by the way, let me just za benzu da stavim, jebote, zaboravio sam skroz. Work drive. New folder. Tablete jebene. It was all about, we started from, hold on just a second guys, I'll be right back with you. I have to check my footage to see what I have to use for the new tutorial. So this is okay. This is okay. This is okay. I think we fucked this one up. No, that one's okay too. And then we have this one. Okay. AI. These. So guys, when was the last time you touched a girl? When was the last time you've been on a date? What the fuck? I'm just managing my fucking cloud storage for just 1 second. I gotta do this, guys, because it's important. But I'll be right back with you. Joj, ajde u kurac, gdje je smeće? Manage trash. Okay, delete that. Delete that. Because, Lord forgive me. Okay, get rid of that. Now send them in. Okay. Evo Benza, sad sam uploadao, znači mislim da su svi tamo. Svi će se koristiti od ove koje sam stavio, znači samo vidi ko je redoslijed, vidjet ćeš po imenu, vidjet ćeš po vremenu kad su se snimali. I onda pa javi ako nešto fali, znači nema intro, to ću ja još naknadno naš, ali dobro. Alright, where were we? Arijan, I got illegal information stuff. I got illegal immigration stuff about my country. I got kicked out of school for sharing. Dude, tell me, you gotta tell us this shit. Jebote plus rakija, znači da Arijan nije iz Irana. A kakav Iran? Jebote Iran. A svi mi kažu da sam iz Irana, da sam iz Turske. Jebote Turska. I got illegal information about I got illegal immigration stuff about my country. Dude, tell us. Increase your light green background. Bug. I don't know, it's picking up some shit. It doesn't matter. Car modeling. There's no easy car modeling. Look at this stuff. This is a relatively easy car, but it's fucked. It's fucking difficult. I do. Kudas is a polite way to say, why are you doing this to me? Yeah, it's true. It's true. How do you make such a viewport? You go up here to viewport shading. You switch to matte cap. You pick one of these. You change this to custom. You pick a color. You check cavity. You set it to both, and you turn this shit all the way up. All right. So back to this. Back to what I was doing here. So we need to separate this surface. And guys, check this shit out. What you're about to witness is gonna be great. Generate mirror. Apply rotation, not the fucking z-axis. Fuck me. So we have to lift this point up to the highest point of this arc here, or arch, or whatever. So it'll be up here somewhere, like this, right? Because of course we're gonna bevel it, so it's gonna be lower down. And now you see something similar goes on at the bottom. So we also have to push the bottom forwards a little bit, like this, let's say. And this, I think, this method right here is my most viewed video on YouTube. I think this is the one, I'm not sure. And now we bevel this with, no we can't because we gotta apply the mirror and merge. And then we can bevel these, Control B and V, right? That gives us this little arc. See, we gotta push it further up. Push that further up. And this a little further up to the front, perhaps. Let's try again. Well, from side view. Yeah, good enough. And we want the concentration of vertices to be roughly the same as on the sides. And now check it, guys. We want a vertex in the middle as well. This will do, right? There's a vertex in the middle. Let's just have a look here. First, we want to, well, we could already do a grid fill. Let's see how many edges we got up here. We got 10 edges. I'm checking with my statistics thing here. And then we go, I think someone told me the active element has to be the corner. We go to face, we go to grid fill. And it fills the surface for us automatically. Now, I want my front curve here to be a little bit different. So I'll place my cursor here and I'll rotate it a little bit. Hopefully that doesn't mess up the entire shape. But just in case, we're going to delete this and we're going to do it again, right? Because we significantly changed the shape. Now we should probably push this a little further out so we have this little bump here. And then, again, face, grid fill. There we go. Guys, if you want to see more techniques like this, that's why you gotta check out my Blender Masterclass course. It's in the description, alright? 10% fucking discount if you use the code ATOMIC10. So go check it out. Also, I do crypto discounts. You guys see I don't monetize this shit, so my sponsor for the video is me and nobody else. Because that way we can keep the conversations pure. So if you want to support the channel, if you want to support Arijan, freedom of speech, got some mean fucking courses that are going to teach you some incredible shit down in the description. So go check them out and join the Discord server. That's my little ad break. Arijan has a YouTube short showing how, where. I just finished making my Vlatko, jest ti naš čovjek. I just finished making a Rolls-Royce Phantom, a client for GTA 5 5M. What does that mean? Well, thank you, Mr. Simgangsta. I hope you like it. I hope you find it useful. Is it somebody wanted a Rolls Royce for GTA, if I understood you correctly. I want to give sponsorship, promote, go, yin. I want you to give sponsorship, promote, go. I don't know what that means. Okay. Okay, so you can so I can throw my fucking nuclear bomb truck into GTA 5, basically is what you're telling me. A ima neko da je iz Zagreba, otkud ste i momci, nisam vidio šta ste rekli. Ne znam jeste iz Zagreba ili odakle ste. Jebi ga, pitao sam pa sam vjerojatno propustio poruku. Now to make, we don't have to fill the inside here, I think. We could, but I don't want to snap this curve to the inner part. I just want to leave that open for now. Maybe we can do this. So maybe if we take this one, if this is our active element, if this is our active element, then we can just snap it there. Boom. Ljubljana, Zagreb, tu smo negdje. Dobro, živio sam u Ljubljani. Ne zajebavam te opće u Mesarska cesta. Ne znam kako se zove dio grada. U Ljubljani sam išao sam u Bežigrad. U Gims sam ja išao, bez zajebanci ti kažem. Od Makedonije. There's a big community in GTA where people want real life cars. I'm Makedonac. I've never been to Macedonia. Although I did meet some Macedonian people. Okay, so this is way too thick right now, so we're gonna have to deflate it. I'm South African and I live in a fairly rich country. So poor Africans illegally flock here and leech tax-funded resources, sell drugs, etc. So I got kicked out and called xenophobic for wanting them out. What the fuck did you say? So you talked about this stuff in school. I guess they probably didn't like that very much, huh? That's how it goes. Hey man, fuck school. Supposedly they're there to educate you, to teach you something, right? To teach you something, to be an adult, teach you important skills. That's the biggest fraud of all time. Because then when you have an opinion, which is not their opinion, then you have to be expelled. You have to be fucking excommunicated. You should be executed. You're a piece of shit in their point of view. Imali smo softball klub koji se zove Mesari. Trener je bio na Mesarskoj. Pa znam taj kraj. Jebeno je to. There's like 4 big fucking beautiful buildings there. I don't know how they are now, but beautiful. Beautiful apartments in there. Znači, Mesarska cesta dolje na južnom dijelu grada, somewhere in the southern part of Ljubljana. That's where I used to stay at. Over here, look. Let me just make sure I don't have my address showing or something. Even if I do, who gives a fuck? You guys can come get me. I don't give a fuck anymore. This is Ljubljana. I used to be right here. In these buildings. So that Mesarska cesta. And I used to go to school here to Gimb every day. Bežigrad je, evo ga, di je jeboga. Up here somewhere. Jel to? Nije to ona koncertna. Tajland nije jebote tak daleko, Ježica, o čem pričam ja. Evo ga, Bežigrad. That's where I used to go to high school. Just 1 year I served there. It was a great time. Great memories come from that place. Okay, guys. I'm gonna have to eat some dinner soon. I didn't eat much today. And yesterday. Ja pojeo sam burek u pičku materinu, jaki sir, onaj paški. Gimptiana Lin Hartovoj. Yeah, I don't remember the address. I don't remember the address. But I hear that, yeah, I was there not long ago, just a couple of months ago. I was in Ljubljana, and I hear people complaining about the migrants more and more. In Croatia, it's a growing issue, and seems to be the case in Ljubljana as well, unfortunately. So look, we're gonna slide these inwards a little bit, look. But just a little bit, less than that. 0.3. Alright. And then we're gonna have to cut this somewhere. We're gonna have to cut it around here, because we have to make space for the grill. Now, this is tricky because if we cut it, it's gonna fuck up our shape, right? See, now we've got a sharp seam right there. So we can't cut it. We have to do that later. Have some beers, yeah, maybe we can have some beers. I don't really post where I go too much, so usually when I travel, it's like I got plans. So usually it's like I don't announce it on social media anymore. I don't talk about that shit much anymore, but maybe I should for this exact reasons. Someone's gonna shoot me in the head sooner or later, but I think I'll be okay. Yeah, we would be cool to have some meetups with the people that watch me. It'd be pretty nice, I think. Because you know what I see? I don't see it as I'm famous. I got a fucking audience. I'm better than everybody because people watching me. Fuck all that. What I see is the people who watch my shit, they're on the same frequency as I am, generally speaking, right? So those are the kind of people I'll probably get along with. So there'll be some interesting conversations that I could have with those people. I think it'll be pretty fun. So if somebody wants to shoot me, now is your chance. That's your chance. You can take advantage of what I just said and lead me into a trap. All right, let's duplicate this. You know what I remember when it was the whole Alex Jones thing about Sandy Hook and whatever. And then he was in court, and I saw Reddit just lose their fucking minds. I hope this guy dies, face in the dirt. I hope his family dies. This guy is a piece of shit who shouldn't be allowed to reproduce. That's what Reddit's saying. The level of hatred these people carry, the level of unreasonable fucking... It's like a rabid dog. It's just completely fucking unreasonable. Cannot be bargained with, cannot be reasoned with at all. Totally shocking to me. What I'm trying to ascertain now, guys, is that my shape is correct, roughly at least. And I think I'm going to apply some... This is going to be tough, because we have to take care of the gaps. We have to have a little bit of a gap between the... Which means probably we should also pull this inwards a little bit somehow, some way. Because we need to make this soft edge folding inwards, right? So maybe if we extrude this side. And then if we take this section, we duplicate it, we separate it to a new object. And that little thing we extrude. Shit. And we deflate it. Now we have this extra segment that goes down and inwards. But we don't want to deflate it that much, so just a little bit, and then we get rid of these two segments, and we're left with just this little inner strip, which we can join into here now. Boom. Look at that. There we go. And at that point, of course, make sure that this is right, we can pull this inward. So basically we have to reinvent the shape here. We have to redesign the shape, because now this is a little bit further inwards. Zašto bi te neko šutenio? Aj Google je Arijan Royce. Blender, Reddit. Vidite, ima likova što je ono. Mislim, nije to ništa ekstremno, ali Brate, bili, svašta sam ja dobio u DMs. No one's gonna shoot me at this point, but, you know, some people got a big fucking problem with me, apparently, so I like to be paranoid sometimes when it comes to my safety. So if somebody threatens me, if somebody says I deserve a certain fate, I don't... I keep it under consideration. What advice would I give to a beginner because you want to make wide body kits? If you're a beginner, you got a long way to go before you can start trying out with car modeling. Well, you got to make sure you learn your topology. You can learn it quickly if you set yourself to it, but just understand that's fucking hard. It's fucking hard. Dunjevac, I'll take that. When it comes to beer, I don't care about the... For me, guys, I'm trying to be as honest with you as I can right now. I really can't tell the difference between very expensive beer or like the good quality shit. I don't know. What's a good beer? Stella, Budweiser, that's good beer, right? Or whatever the fucking premium beer might be. Versus the construction site beer at the bottom shelf. Kobanyai. The shitty ones. For me, it's the same. It's either tastes good or it doesn't. For me, the Kobanyai in Hungary, for example, or the what's the name of the Polish beer, the cheap beer? Harnas. These are the shit beers where if somebody sees you drinking it, it's embarrassing, right? You're not supposed to be seen drinking this because it makes you a fucking degenerate or whatever in society's point of view, okay? For me, it's just fucking beer. Kobanya is great. It's a light beer. It doesn't taste. It's not heavy on my stomach. I like it. Kobanya and Harnash, the cheapest fucking rock bottom beer. What the fuck do I care? I don't know the difference when it comes to beer. I'll just drink beer. I don't care. When it comes to whiskey, and I got this from my dad. I like a good whiskey, a good Scotch. Bourbon I can do. No problem. My dad doesn't like bourbon. I'll do bourbon. I'll do a Maker's Mark and all this stuff. Monkey Shoulder's a bourbon, isn't it? Monkey Shoulder's a pretty good bourbon. Is it a bourbon? Hold on a second. No, it's Scotch whiskey. I'm mixing it up with something else. What's another bourbon? Hold on. Maker's Mark, I've tried. That's a pretty good one. Four Roses, you know. Jim Beam, that's the basic stuff. Not really worth talking about. Yeah, Maker's Mark is a bourbon that I liked. I don't usually drink bourbons because my dad likes Scotch. So if I come to his house, it's Scotch. If he comes to my house, it's Scotch because I bought the Scotch in case he comes to my house so I can pour him some Scotch. And my favorite Scotch, guys, is one that I've discovered. Harnash is shit. No, what the fuck? Why? It's good. It's just beer. Who cares? Hercegovina. Dobro večer. Hello, Mr. Bart. A good whiskey or Scotch is... Let me just see if I can pronounce this correctly. Oh yeah, I believe this is the one. Let's look at some whiskeys, guys. Let me show you. This is if you're not allowed to visit our website from your country. Why not? What the fuck? Hold on. If I connect to VPN, then it's gonna disconnect the stream. Glenlivet. Nadura. Is that the one I'm talking about? Glenlivet Nadura. That's right, this whiskey right here, this Scotch right here. This here is a work of art. Let me tell you why. And I discovered this with my dad during COVID. I was locked up with my dad and my mom for a while in Budapest. I spent the initial COVID strike in Budapest, and here I am with my dad carving up Christmas trees on the fucking balcony. We wouldn't have anything better to do. We had a Christmas tree left over from Christmas, so we're just sitting on the balcony playing cards. We cut the branches off the Christmas tree, and then you have like a club with sharp points sticking out of it where the branches used to be. We'd carve that shit, and then we'd be drinking scotch, right? Whiskey. And there was one time we go to the shop, we went to buy, I don't know what we were supposed to buy, something for the house. Mom sent us to the shop. And we get into this spot somewhere next to, is there an Obi? Obi? No, there's no Obi in Budapest, I think. One of those Bauhaus type of shops, you know. Yeah, Budapest is my favorite place, dude. But when I was living there during COVID, we go to this shop to buy something, me and my dad, and we go in there. And we forgot all about whatever the fuck we were supposed to buy. We just go straight. We looked up the size, alcohol, there. That's where we're going. Boom. Forgot all about whatever the fuck we were there for. And we're looking at whiskeys, we're looking at scotch. It wasn't much of a... The shelf was largely unpopulated. But here we see this box, which we've never seen before. Now, I remember the box being a little bit more orange. Maybe I'm just wrong. Maybe I'm comparing it with another, but it was definitely this bottle right here. And we pick this thing up and we look at it. Okay, what do we got? So when you pick up a scotch, what you look for is you want to see the age. Okay, what's the age on this one? Some of them got no age, so for some of them it doesn't matter. But generally, 12 years, now you're entering good territory. 12 years, you want to see single malt. You don't want to see blended. You want to see single malt. That means it's one type of Scotch whiskey, not mixed with something else. Single malt. And then you check the flavor stuff, like what kind of casks you got, whether it's a very smoky like the Talisker, for example. If that's your thing, you want to be aware of that, because Talisker is not for everybody. I like a Talisker, but it's rough. It's not for everybody. Chat's probably delayed, yeah. So if something's wrong, then tell me, guys. But pick this fucker up, 61.5% it says right here, look. And we're like, holy shit, man, we're having a party tonight back home. I'm gonna play some Remy. I'm gonna drink some whiskey. And we put this thing back. It was on discount. We didn't put it back. We put it in the trolley, in the cart. It was on discount. We got a discount, and we brought this thing home. I think we probably ended up buying the stuff we were supposed to buy, but man, this is an incredible fucking whiskey. Because when you see, Lafroig is my father's favorite. Lafroig and Ardbeg. And yeah, but not too much Talisker. That's gonna fuck up your morning. I mean, it's for me, it's like it's quite strong, so it can mess up your throat a little bit. By the way, guys, I had enough of this modeling shit. So let's talk about whiskey, and we're gonna wrap it up and have some dinner shortly. But when you see 62.1 or 61.5% on the bottle, usually that's a sign of, okay, this is probably some cheap fucking garbage, right? For fucking degenerates. So generally, you don't want to, you want to be aware of this. Just because it's higher in alcohol, one doesn't mean it's a better whiskey. It can just be some garbage, right? But this shit was fucking incredible. This is top-notch shit. We bring it home. When you drink it, it's like you're on fire. You're on fire. But it doesn't hurt as much as you would expect it to. I've had whiskeys which are lower in their alcohol percentage, or, 80 proof, right? That's a 40%. But it burns like a motherfucker. Burns like a motherfucker. This thing doesn't, the one that I just showed you, Glenlivet. So if you want to, listen, if you got somebody who's a Scotch enthusiast in your family or your friends or something, you're buying one of these, they're going to love you. That or a Talisker, that's always a good gift. It's quite pricey, so just be ready for that, but they're going to fucking respect you. You don't pick this shit by accident. You got to be told to pick this one. So this is something in my memory is great fucking Scotch. It gets you fucking hammered. because it's high alcohol percentage. Good stuff. Really good shit. In our nation, there is no too strong alcohol. Yeah, I know, man. You know where I lived? I used to live in Ursus. In Warsaw. Dziewięć. Right? I don't know if that's the code, but... There's a club called 999. Yeah, I'm going back to Poland in a couple of days. I can't wait, guys. I'm super excited. Harnash is not beer, it's ethanol with beer taste. That's not true. Fuck it. We used to buy, because we had a duży bin down in our building. We used to just buy the fucking... Because me and my brother would be working in the living room just all day non-stop. We'd be grinding, because we had a lot of work to do. So we're not going out for a while, you know, this weekend. We're not going anywhere. Fuck it. What we do is we buy ourselves a bucket of harnash from the duży bin, because, you know, it's the only one which you can just pick out off the fucking shelf. It's that or another one, which is the same shit. We buy 20 beers in the box, in the fucking, you know, the bucket. The cat, what do you call this shit, man? You know what I'm talking about. The plastic frame. Gaiba pive jebote. You take this thing home, and we just put it under the table. I was lining them up. Harnash or fucking Stella, it doesn't matter. It was cheap. It was like 2-3 zlote for a beer. And then you bring it back, you get one back. So it's 2 zlote per beer. Who gives a fuck, man? Perla Export. What do you think about Perla Export? Let me just Google it so I can see. Oh, yeah. But like I said, they're all the same shit to me, so I can't really tell the difference. I mean, for me, beer is just... There's some beers that I know I don't like, but... I don't like IPAs. I generally don't like dark beer, although there are some Grička, brate. Grička beers, it's a normal... I love that. But yeah, Perla Export. I probably drank this stuff. I can't remember, because we would just go and pick out whatever was closest to us in the shop. For me, it really doesn't matter when it comes to beer. I don't have much of an opinion on this stuff. I'm a cultureless savage, an uncultured savage when it comes to beer, unfortunately. Give your dad Laga Volin. Trust me, he will love it. Let's look it up. Laga Volin. E cuga. Kurac. Imate li 18 godina? Imam. Whoa, we're talking 89 euro. 90 euro. That's gonna be something premium. 90 euro. Is it actually on discount, or are they lying to me? Now you know why. Why? I have the tutorial on brewing beer. Dude, I would love to make my own beer. What would I call it? If I made my own beer, what would I call it? I would call it... I'll think of something. Snažan. Mirisa dima. Strong. Smoke flavored. Or smoke scented. Mixed with sea algae. Seaweeds. Algae, not weeds. Algae, yeah, but the algae. Salty. Slankasti. Not salty, but traces of salty and sweet flavors. If I just Google Translate it, it's not gonna do the job properly. With hints of, okay, yeah, hints of, it's doing it right. Hints of wooden, long, peaty, salty finish. I'll ask him about it. He probably knows it. Scotland, single. If it's this, if you see this, that's how I know he's probably gonna like it. I'll keep that under consideration. Thank you for the recommendation. That's great. That's great. Let's fucking bookmark it real quick, because we're gonna have to buy one soon. Grička normalno buras. Iso Miki, ubili smo se ko svinja. We got drunk as fucking swine off of the Grička the other day, a month ago. 3 of us. And we got a grichka in the bar. We drink it. I know what a grichka means. We drank 5 of those. I know what it means. I know the power of this thing, but we had 2 of them at this particular occasion. This guy went home, he was throwing up. I couldn't sleep. I had fucking, everything spinning. My whole day was ruined the next day. I was hungover from 2 of them. What the fuck? I don't know how that's possible, but Crni Tomislav normalno. Vukovarsko mjene. Danas sam Vukovarsko ovdje pio. Because we in Poland use such very expressive way when we talk, we don't give a shit. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Polish people know. Polish people are fucking old school. Polish people don't give a fuck. We've been, it's crazy, man. We've been talking about pričamo alkohol je već pol sata. Još uvijek imamo 100 ljudi. We still got 100 people, guys, in our after hours. I think that's a record for after hours. Because in after hours, usually the views drop to like 60, 70 most. It's the new record for after hours. We're talking about fucking scotch, beer. We're talking about fucking crime. That's why I want to make a podcast. If I make a podcast, we can do this all day. All day, every day. Buraz odo. I'm gonna put my kid to sleep. I like no choice. It's perfect whiskey. Alright guys, that's it for today. I'm gonna wrap it up because I'm starving. I wanna go eat something. And we've been here for 3 hours and 42 minutes. So that was a good run, guys. Make sure to join the Discord. There's a link in the description for the Blender Prison Discord if you want to chat with everybody, if you want to chat with me, ask me a question and stuff like that, if you want to get some updates. If you guys want to learn a little bit more about Blender, if you want some more explanations for the stuff that you see me use in my videos, in my live streams, then check out my courses in the description. You can use the code ATOMIC10 to get a 10% discount. You can also get a crypto discount, alright? So check that out. And also follow me on Instagram, where I post my 3D work. Sometimes I do Q&As and shit like that. On LinkedIn, I don't really post on LinkedIn, but I should start fucking with people a little bit. So if you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, if you have an inquiry at a level serious enough where it requires LinkedIn communication, which I think is bullshit, but it's just some people prefer LinkedIn for conversations. So I also got LinkedIn. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the stream. It was a pleasure to speak to you guys.